Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your apparently tongue-tied host and Dungeon Master, Jason Phelps, and I am joined, as ever, by Robbie.
Hello.
Annual Orangutan Sword Fight Bellekom.
Ooh. Fun.
Sam. Daily Chicken Duel Burns. And Ellie, Hourly Crab Tickler Sparrow.
Owl. What does that even mean?
That's an excellent question.
A crab tickler that also is a bit like an owl, but not one.
Hourly.
Oh, I thought you said owly. Yeah. I had more questions.
I mean, answers in a postcard.
Yeah.
And then
I'm sorry, I got really giggly.
What are you doing with this postcard once you've written answers on it?
I just, snap a picture of it and put it online somewhere.
Yeah, I put it on Twitter.
So I was just imagining, burning it and hoping that the message would somehow reach to us.
We're not gods.
Aren't we?
Are you sure?
Aren't we?
Well, basically.
Incidentally, the characters are now level 15.
Yay! I got very giggly during that intro because of the exact way you were tongue-tied. There was this glorious second where you said, a handful of mad actors will ass.
Yes.
Amazing. And I actually had to share it before I could move past it.
A handful of actors will attempt to survive the ass that is Dungeons and Dragons.
Perfect.
The great quivering... Well, it's time for us to stare into the great quivering ass of the future.
This is how I'm going to sell the show to anyone who asks from now on.
Yes.
And demand future ass. What messages from the present?
From the ass.
It's Future Jason with messages from the present. This episode of Flintlocks and Fireballs is brought to you by you. As ever, a massive thanks to our crew members on the Flintlocks Patreon who help keep this ship sailing. There's a wealth of extra content and bonus features for patrons, including regular blog posts, extra stories narrated by the cast, artwork, and a monthly poll for the community to help design an element to go into the game. You can check it out at patreon.com/Flintlocks and Fireballs, link in the description. We are an affiliate of dnddice.com, makers of beautiful specialty dice since 2010. Whether you need dice because you're masquerading as a vampire, calling Cthulhu, or are some sort of Pathfinder gathering the magic munchkins, you can click through our affiliate link in the description and grab yourself or a friend some particularly sexy dice or a particularly sexy leather dice bag. We are also an affiliate of Zavvi, fine producers of nerdy garments and handy household items. Remember, you can click through the affiliate link in the description and use code FLINTLOCKS20 to take 20% off clothing and FLINTLOCKS10 to take 10% off not clothing. And that's it for announcements this time. Back to you, Past Jason.
Bums!
now, isn't it?
Fucking bums.
Bums.
And on that cheerful note...
Bums.
It's time to bum again. Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains, brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs. The party have successfully defended against bums. Has successfully foisted off the bums of fate and defended Newmark against the Redcoat forces. In the wake of the battle, the party have taken a little bit of time to, not exactly unwind, but catch up on matters past. Unclench, if you will, yes. Having retrieved little Corzin from the arse end of nowhere. No, not at all. From Koyon. And paying the
Can you tell Robbie's in person with us today? Can any of you tell?
I'm fine. No bums here.
played a touch of polymorphing, dredging up some iron, and indeed having a dog race with Corzin with Junior, with Corzin Junior being a dog and part of it,
And a mosquito.
and a mosquito. Let us not forget.
Never forget.
Yes, that blood draining little adventure. While Celestia has gotten very drunk, visited some friends, visited some less friends, and we pretty much come back in the late afternoon, early evening, by this point, I would imagine, of the 24th of Falling Leaves, 1798. It has been quite the day all round. What would you like to do?
I mean, I have a thing, but it doesn't have to be the first thing.
I don't have anything. Scamp's pretty happy to do nothing.
Fair.
Had a busy day. I spent all my spells on polymorph, so...
What about you?
Yeah,
Do you have anything? Out of character.
I mean, or you could just ask in character and
This
say
is
you've
true.
met back up at the ship.
I'm just gonna rock up. I hate this, but I've definitely had a couple since I left Lady Grace's on the road. Not loads, but a couple. Dropped spell card on the floor, so we far from light threat. Now I'm back. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna come find you two. I assume you're on the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
All right there.
Everyone had a good day?
Yep.
Yes.
Little Corzin was a mosquito.
Why?
Who knows?
Did he pick that, or did you just do it for...
He asked me.
I'm not going to turn a child into a mosquito without their
I
consent.
mean, I didn't think so, but it's been a hard couple of days. I don't know.
Little Corzin, by the way, is just full on out of it at this point because jet lag. Already asleep.
That is fair.
Yeah.
Why would you pick a mosquito out of all the things?
It's
Probably
the sign
over,
of a confused mind.
Over
The sign of a
Corzin's
very
shoulder.
disturbed little person. Little freaky freak. Fuck off.
Oh, be nice to Jeffrey.
When have I ever been nice to Jim?
No, yes, sure.
Why would I start now?
I would be really. I'd be worried. I'd be really worried.
What's
Well said, Marjorie.
So, what do you want to do tonight?
Sleep.
I do like sleep.
Mostly sleep. It's been a busy week.
That was a bit, hasn't it?
Yeah. I've got a couple of ship-based errands to do, but I'm probably just going to be getting this little one down and settling in for an evening. You're welcome to join me, of course, but
They will do. I mean, it occurs to me that there's a scary echo time to do.
Oh. You make a very
yes.
good
I
point.
really want to pretend it's not happening.
no,
But this
you're
is a
absolutely
rare
right.
bit of respite where everything isn't on fire and we can maybe afford to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should
It doesn't
do
have to
that
be
then.
today, but it should be before we go anywhere serious.
Yeah.
No,
Which I
you're
think
quite right.
we're probably planning on doing soon, aren't we, out of this camp?
Yeah. My concern here, I'm up for doing it immediately, except I used all my spells to make little Corzin into many animals.
That's a fair and reasonable decision, and I don't judge you for it, but you have a point.
Yeah, it just, if anything happens, I don't want to be,
Not be able to be helpful.
yeah.
We could do it in the
I'm
morning.
Yeah, that would work too. I'm surprised this hasn't come up previously, but if you were to attempt this whilst under the influence of alcohol or whatever,
Oh, I've been drunk before
Does-
when I've swapped with people.
Does
They
it
just-
carry through?
I wasn't drunk in the bubble, but they were drunk when they were me. But I'm not sure there's any swapping to be done here.
I
Fair.
think we shouldn't make any assumptions. Because
Because
we don't
You might
know.
get finger snapped for a bit, wouldn't that be
We
awful?
haven't got a clue what
You
we're
might get
having.
somebody completely random.
Or we might struggle to get you back easily, or anything could happen. We're doing something different, potentially.
Yeah.
Let's not go in without full...
Yeah, let's go into this as prepared as we can be.
Maybe we should do this in the morning then.
Yeah.
Probably a good idea.
Because right now, I think I could probably, make a pretty picture. Or break everything and nothing in between.
Right. I've had those days. I feel ya.
I get a lot of those days.
Yeah. It's the in-between ones that go the first, isn't it?
Yes, it is rather.
And sometimes there just seems to be loads of them because I want them to be, but it means I can't do little stuff.
You see, that I'm jealous of.
It's useful.
Because in a battle sometimes I'm like, well, I could make that man laugh really hard, but I can't do anything else.
I think at this point, yeah, pretty pictures or destroy half a city.
Well, neither of those would be helpful in any weird echo situation.
Maybe not a whole maybe half a city's a bit... Maybe I'd say, pulling a number out the air, 100-foot radius circle.
I don't like it when you pull numbers out the air because they're usually about right.
Yeah.
You could destroy a city square.
Or some ships if they were all in a row.
Well, I don't know if it would... I don't know if I could hurt ships with it. Anyway.
Is this a lifting up thing?
No,
or
just...
something else.
Something else. I don't think it's going to come up. It's fine. Let's have a nap first.
Yeah. Swig from my flask.
But yeah, you're right. We need to do that soon.
It's honestly, it's making me anxious in my brain, and I don't want to leave it because it gets worse the longer I leave it.
You're
It gets
absolutely right, and we will deal with it.
I think that's why I went to see Lady Grace, today, because if I left it any longer to see what would happen if that happened, I felt like I might just physically die.
Yeah.
So,
How did it go?
I know what you mean by anxious in your brain, but now I'm wondering about anxious in other parts. What if
You
my
would definitely
foot
be
was
anxious
out?
in other
What,
parts.
just anxious in one hoof? That would be weird.
You've never been anxious at the back of your head? Does that not happen to you?
No,
Yeah.
mostly it's in the belly.
That too.
That's about... Or in
Sometimes my ears get buzzy.
in the breathing parts?
That
Lungs,
too.
there's a word for the breathing parts.
I'm a singer. I really should have chipped in with that. Don't you fucking judge, you piece of shit.
That's what I'm saying, Marjorie. Exactly. Yes, Jeffrey, thank you.
What is wrong with you all? Okay.
How did the meeting with Lady Grace go?
Yeah, how was it?
This is a sort of difficult maths. Look, really, really difficult maths.
Right.
Really bad. And then alright.
Okay.
I think I'm
Alright.
still livid.
Yeah.
But I think
Okay.
we're sort of being mature and we're in a bit of a better place than we were. But the thing is, right, I went there to be all here's an olive branch, you piece of fucking shit. I'm gonna be really nice. And then she was drunk and an arsehole.
And you
So I was back.
Okay.
And then it got worse and worse and worse and worse. And then she sobered us up forcefully with magic, and then she was nice.
Okay.
But we said some really bad things to each other, to be honest. It was quite weird. I nearly left, and then I'm sort of glad that I didn't, because we're okay now. But now that we're okay, I feel bad that I'm still angry with her. So it's... Yeah.
Emotions don't just go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing that you're angry about is a big thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't
That's
have
why
to
I
be
thought
all
it was
sorted
shit,
in
right,
one
that-
sitting.
That's why I thought it sucked that she was an absolute shit. I was like, you don't get to be a shit. You're the one that fucked up in the first place. Bastard.
But, like you said, she was drunk, and sometimes drunk people are assholes. Doesn't excuse it, but...
I'm sorry, she is a worse drunk than I have ever been. And I'm not exaggerating, it was real bad. Apparently a bit of an alcoholic back in the day, actually. That's why she has the ring of sober.
That makes sense.
Alright,
Yeah, I thought
noted.
so. Yeah, so she drinks, but she just gets the taste.
Wow.
Huh.
Surely that would be harder.
I thought that. If you weren't feeling it.
Wow.
I can see the benefit, but also, yeah, that's... I can see there would also be other drawbacks.
Yeah.
I'm glad
Like,
you're
don't get me
better
wrong,
now.
since I've had the ability to just, like, immediately make someone sober, it's a bit of a waste of a spell, but,
Fucking
it's...
awakening is what it is.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So yeah, things are complex. I think better than they were, but I feel very weird about the whole thing. I want to trust her, but it's a mess. You know?
Yeah.
I built a fort today.
Who did you? A big one or a little one or what are we talking?
Out of books and other random objects in the
Furniture.
city hall.
Oh, like the blanket fort thingy you built in the
Yes.
corner of our room, like that one.
Yes, but sturdier.
That
I
is a
tried
permanent
to sell it
fixture,
as
by
an
the way, now, the corner fort. It's very
defensive
important.
structure, but I'm not sure they'll go for it.
They made us wait.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think I was justified.
I don't think anyone should make you wait. I think it's dangerous.
That's
Did you break
true.
anything?
Yes and no.
What does that mean?
I mean, it is now a fort. It is
They
no
didn't
longer
break
other
anything.
furniture.
So it's not like.
But
the
they
one
have
in the corner of our room
transformed
where
certain
it's just some
things
chairs
into
and
other
shit.
things.
No, they are no longer like chairs and a cabinet. Those don't go back now.
Oh dear, that's fun.
I would say transformed rather than broke.
If we got you the right materials, could you make some turrets for the one in our room? Because I would
Yes.
like there to be turrets.
Let's do this.
That would please
Yeah.
me.
Corzin, later you receive a bill for 30 gold pieces.
Fine, yeah.
Fun fact, listeners.
I will take that out of the ship's kitty, so to speak.
Fun fact for the listeners: the corner fort is a cameo from the corner fort from our old house when Jason and Robbie used to live.
We had a permanent blanket fort, because why wouldn't you?
That was there the whole time we were.
Yeah.
It was great.
You know, if you're having to be an adult and dealing with taxes and adult stuff, you deserve a blanket fort.
Exactly.
Oh God, after a bad day, a blanket fort is really
Oh.
good as
I
well.
will note that
So good.
you live in an officer's cabin, but you still live in a cabin, so that blanket fort is taking up like half your space.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
and it is worth
We
everything.
only need hammocks.
Yeah, true.
Fuck it.
So, in which case, if you're leaving off finger snap investigations until
So we're having
morning,
a date, ain't we?
then you
Again,
I
unless
guess you-
anyone else is doing other things.
No, I have no plans. I have spent all my spells.
Sorry, I have so many downtime things.
Set
No,
off
you
to bed.
that's all good, man.
Okay. So, as you all head your respective ways, Celestia, you close off the evening by basically snorting rainbow dust while smashing into your eyes.
We're going to find Saran. That's it.
Have
Sure
fun.
thing.
Thank you. I will.
Do lots of things I wouldn't.
I might do. Bye.
Oh yes, you bunk together. Scamp.
Yes, but I'm somewhere else, so it's fine.
Are you in the top bunk or the bottom bunk?
Ooh, what would Scamp have wanted?
I feel like we've established this in the past, but I forgot.
I, Celestia, would have preferred bottom because the ceiling's less close. And that's
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
think we've had. I think.
Yeah.
You hear from below.
I also
sort
think you
of-
would have wanted the top.
Yeah, and if I was in the bottom bunk, I would just be kicking your back the whole time.
You would.
With hooves, which would be mean.
Scamp, you hear a sort of sound from below as the spell takes effect.
Bye.
Okay.
And as the rainbow sand floods your vision, you fall backwards and open your eyes. Let's say in a little bit wrong, not quite right. In the streets of a dusty city, the walls around you look like sandstone, but there's a sort of dull orange rust coloration to the stone here. You can feel a wind blowing thick with the scent of spices blowing through the streets. and as you pick yourself up and look around, you recognise beyond it the streets on a wide street, a bazaar filled with colourful market stalls and strange and peculiar dreamlike creatures, as well as once again you do see here and there the odd gnomish figure travelling through. Quite different from Fighty in style. Usually, again, these gnomes wear bright and vibrant clothing, yes, but it's got strange multicoloured 2 or 3 tone effects to the silks they wear.
Picturing tie-dye, is that incorrect?
If tie-dye shifted when you move. Yeah.
I want it.
Some wear headscarves, others wear curious jewellery of different. Some made from seashells, others from bright stones that glimmer with a light that doesn't quite come from refraction. One person is wearing one of the gnomes is just wearing, as far as you can tell, just solid cloth of gold everywhere, including golden gloves. And all of their jewellery is made from grey stone or pink granite or just something to break up the bloody gold. You see them haggling with a market stall owner and for something, and they very carefully pick up what looks like a series of, it's not really clear, almost like live cuttlefish, and carefully put them into, pass them to another gnome who has just a bowl of water. But they slip, and one of the cuttlefish accidentally touches their hand, and you watch as it just stiffens and turns to gold. And you just hear swearing, it's
Shit.
and carefully use the golden tweezers to pick up the next one.
Wide berth.
Yeah, you give Midas Gnome a very wide berth.
Oh yeah, no, we're not opening that can of worms.
Again, the rainbow flame flickers on your fingers and guides you.
Don't look at anything too hard in the bazaar, as we have established is the thing to do.
Yeah, and you follow you follow your way through the thick throngs of people until you reach. Actually, you've come not too far from your destination, as you see one of the shadowy figures standing by a stall, and the bubble begin to appear around like a soap bubble. More like a soap bubble in nature, these, than the water bubbles that you get when you're scrying through the eye. It's different in effect. And as you pass through it, the more sort of hot desert winds of the streets transform into a colder market of a city you've never seen, a place you've never been to. In the distance, faintly you can just track the curve of mountains beyond high buildings in an unfamiliar style, with slanted terracotta rooftops and aggressively fretworked wooden beams in places. And you there see Saran, dressed differently actually to how you've seen her before. Her long black hair is folded back and held up by what looks like a bone comb with mother of pearl in a circle at the centre of it, and she's wearing a long robe, sort of a long dress robe type of affair, tied with a sash at the waist and very wide sleeves that come into point to sort of cuff points around the wrists. She's inspecting what looks to be a stall of, I mean, as far as you can tell, pears or maybe apples. They're like these weird round, they're definitely ashy pears.
Best pears.
Round, somewhere between pear and apple in nature.
So crunchy.
And she blinks and looks around. Oh.
Hello. I'm not interrupting anything, am I?
No, This is a very dull dream you've interrupted.
They look like nice apples? Pears?
Close enough.
Okay.
Nashi. They are crunchy. Juicy. See things for a moment. You said it's safe to eat.
Yeah, we're not really here, so it's sort of okay.
She picks one up and passes it to you.
Thank you.
The stall owner goes, says,
I conjure up some fake money because I can do whatever I want in the dream vault.
No, he takes the coins, gives one a bite, shrugs, and pockets it.
How are you?
I suppose, well, I'm still, I imagine, somewhere being watched over by an overzealous orc.
Well, she's not here, so it's okay.
You see Saran just like...
There's a moment where the suggestibility of the dreamfold, like some storefront or something.
You see a flickering of the matron-like figure and then just transforms just into a random hobgoblin woman just sweeping the streets.
She literally does the shut up gesture where you close your hand and it just goes away. Sorry. It's sort of... It can be my gig here a bit, so sometimes when I think things, they'll happen. Do you still want to go to where you said you wanted to go?
I most definitely want to see your interpretation of the Tiger Palace
Right,
at the top of the Yellow Mountains.
I'll make you one. And then if you want to see the real one, we can do that as well if you like. There are ways. I guess let's leave this market. I feel bad shitting on something that's in your brain.
You lead the way. How do you want to transition?
I would like to transition like a cartoon wizard.
Okay.
Like Mickey Mouse style. So that I'm pointing and things are coming up out of the ground, properly just conjuring shit like a conductor sort of thing. There's music as well because it's Celestia and that's how it works.
Excellent.
But yeah, some very strong electric guitar happens and there are some big wizardy gestures and lots of dramatic pointing that doesn't need to happen. It's all very, very silly. We walk down the market sort of fades away and then this starts happening and a mountain comes up out of the earth and it's exactly how you picture somebody would conjure a mountain with the big arm gesture and the coat flapping in the wind and
people the streets, the buildings, the market goers, they just sort of melt like sea foam into the ground.
Actually, I think they scurry off.
Oh, they just pull out.
I think that's what happens. I think they just...
It's like someone's just pulling them off stage.
Yeah, exactly.
Saran looks back for a moment and they're gone. It's like when things just disappear outside of your view and you look and they've just been removed.
Yeah. I turn to Saran as though figuring out what she looks like for show. I know what she looks like. And at the top of this mountain, there's this big tiger head with an open mouth. And bear in mind, Celestia has only seen one tiger and it's Stormy. So it's Stormy,
okay,
but slightly more fearsome looking because Stormy's a kitten. And it's got its mouth open in a roar. And inside its mouth is a very, very big statue of Saran. And she is punching a comedy zombie in the face. And the art style is sort of Looney Tunes, if one were to imagine that. The whole time she's painting Saran, she's kind of gratuitously looking over at her as though trying to copy, when actually, it's from her brain.
Hilarious is that because more properly, although I've used the term lightning tiger, for Stormy. Stormy is probably slightly closer to a jaguar in nature.
She's
it's
not a
not
normal
quite
tiger.
right for
Celestia does
tiger.
not know this.
Celestia does not know this.
As far as I'm concerned, Stormy's a tiger.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It has like an absolute Stormy resemblance.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, slightly more fearsome. And sort of Torchwood rock style. Does anyone remember the Torchwood lift? Where like it was in
Yeah.
Cardiff Square and there was
Yes.
a brick and you had to stand on the right brick and it would go down into the earth.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
something like that appears out of the ground. It's pretty nondescript looking and I just go jump on.
Your wish is my command.
Thank you.
Steps onto this platform.
Yeah, it's just a little rock. I click my fingers. It floats us up into the tiger's mouth next to the really gratuitously big statue of Saran. Like it's fucking huge.
It's like 5 times life size.
Yeah.
And it's dwarfed by the size of the gigantic jaguar tiger mouth.
Yeah. And when we get there, I step off. I sort of take her by the hand, like a lady, and step her off the platform.
My thanks.
And I put my arm up, and you know, like on a theatre curtain, like
Yeah.
the really fancy ones, there's the cord what you pull and the curtains come open. Yeah. So I pull the cord, and instead of a pair of curtains, the sky changes, but it goes out like a pair of curtains. And as the sky changes, so does the landscape around. It's sort of like if you were pushing a deck of cards over, you know how you can make them like flip?
Yeah.
It does that, and it turns into this brilliant orange forest of trees that she described, as I recall, with like rolling hills and like beautiful stuff. So the mountain is kind of keyed for comedy. The sky and the trees are actually sincere in what I think that beautiful view would look like. The trees are probably a bit weird because I imagine they're not the same trees that she's seen, but like I really try.
Roll a nature check.
Lol. That is it's my fucking nature. That's actually a 12. That's not terrible
Okay, they are not all
for
conifers.
me. Okay.
I mean, you're from the Underdark, so that's all.
Yeah.
There's a chance you just turn them all into evergreens.
Yeah, but yeah, I go for the orange glow that she has described to me.
The whole landscape just folds over and transforms. A variety of different deciduous trees that you've seen in your travels spring up down the mountainside. Oaks, sycamores, ashes, all sorts, but with brilliant golden leaves. You've seen autumn happen, but they're all in that perfect moment when they're just fading between pink and yellow and brown, just like, and the whole mountainside is covered over with gold.
And there's slight like wind chiming noises as the leaves move in the wind.
Saran, who has been sort of quietly laughing under her breath at the cartoonish mountain, turns around and you just.
How did I do? Probably not quite, I imagine. You described it well, though.
Thank you.
Oh. You're welcome.
She.
If you want to change anything, let me know.
Has the floating stone like paused by the statue of herself?
I've pictured that we've kind of, like, if the tiger's mouth
Yeah.
is a thing, I've pictured that the bottom of it is sort of flat so you can
Yeah,
stand
you
there.
can stand there.
So I think we've got off the
she's
the
just-
stone thing.
Yeah, so she steps up. She's stepped off and
But like we just have this
stands
like
and
panoramic view in front of
looks
us.
over the view.
Really, if you want me to change anything, I can. I mean, I could. You could describe it to me, or I could. I mean, you could literally show me in your brain if you want. If it's not quite right. Yeah, Is it okay?
Can I change things?
Correct me if I'm wrong here, DM.
Mhm.
But the only way I can think of doing it so that Saran could almost directly change things would be for me to look at her thoughts and her to picture something.
Yeah, because you have direct control here.
Yeah,
but
otherwise she could describe something
But
to
you
me.
could, she can describe things, but you could, you can use a second spell basically. And,
Well, obviously ask
detect
her about
things.
this before just
Yes.
doing it. But, I mean, there are a couple of ways. So the first way is you describe something to me, and I can try and make it how it sounds. Or I can look at people's thoughts if you want it to be direct. I could just look and you could picture what you wanted. It's the closest I can think of to give you control, but if you don't want that, that is also completely reasonable, so zero pressure.
frowns for a moment, thinks.
Obviously I wouldn't look at anything
Then-
you didn't want me to.
Wordlessly, she offers you her hand.
I'll take it. Hand to temple. You know what? Hand to my temple and hand to Saran's temple today.
Okay. She holds the hand holding her temple, at point touching her temple.
Yeah, like we're like holding hands on the side of her head. And yeah, I try and not look at anything else other than what she's sending me. Basically,
Okay.
like I notably don't look around.
Yeah.
If you accidentally picture anything you don't want me to see, just picture a door and shut it. I won't go in.
She nods.
Just picture what you want. I'll do my best.
And hand in hand, she focuses, and you let the rainbow spirit take the load, and you watch as the landscape shifts subtly. The variety of trees changes from like
I imagine it
dozens
does.
to about 3 or 4 different types of trees with similar looks. The hills, so you see them sort of lift and shift like shifting sands until they reach an approximation of where they should be. And in the distance, you see the colours of the hills change. Patchwork fields coming into existence. A low place by a river with faintly paddies filled with green growing rice. And rising, stepped up on one of those hills, rising up above it, with high, vaguely pinkish stone walls. You can see a city that comes, and Saran does it differently to you. Less things are like the way, or rather, the Rainbow Spirit follows her lead in a different way,
Yeah.
and it's more like they wash into existence, painted like, you know when you've got, you know when you lay down a very granulating watercolour.
Aw, I've made you a nerd. Did you hear that? No one else knows what that is. In watercolours, my loves, the heavier pigments, if you have like a staining watercolour, usually it's just like a flat colour wash. If you have a more staining pigment, the pigment like lumps together in certain places and you get cool texture and patterns.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what a granulating watercolour is. Jason knows that word because I go on about them all the time.
And you use them a lot.
I do.
It's like splotches of colour and texture spread outwards from points until they fill in.
More like she's painting than
Yeah.
like she's conjuring.
And
Yeah.
you realise this is closer to her style of minor illusions that you've seen her create with her little tool sets.
A bit more delicate and painted than Celestia
Yeah.
style, yeah.
Your style of illusions is very sort of dramatic and sudden.
It has
comes
flair
into
and
its
it's
flair.
yeah.
This
It's not a painting because I don't think Celestia actually can draw.
No.
So I think it's an approximation of her mental image of something.
Yeah. Whereas you can almost see the lines. It's strange. You watch you expect. There's something about the way that the city fills in. You expect to see almost like pencil lines or ink first, but you don't. It's like you see the city painted into existence in shades of blue, marking out tones. Darker parts.
Value study.
Value study. Darker
He's
parts.
being cute and doing
lighter
my
parts.
painting process. That's what's happening.
Sharpening at the edges and then filling in with colour afterwards.
Glazing, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it comes to life and you see just the hustle and bustle, like ants in the far distance, of a city. Painted smoke becomes just little columns coming from chimneys blowing in the
I
wind.
give her like a 10-second warning before the minute runs out, but I do as much. I get as much as I can from her in the minute.
As the minute finishes, you see just like glints of many of the buildings have these tiered, sloped roofs to them, often some tiled in brown or red, and in the centre, some of the taller ones tiled in green, and you see golden sort of caps surmounting a handful of them, especially around a central sort of compound.
Whew. See why you miss it.
Beautiful to look upon, beautiful to look out from.
You can go there if you need to, or if you want to, if that would help.
No,
Okay.
today from afar.
It looks pretty from afar.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you paint?
She nods.
You make illusions, interestingly. Mine just sort of pop up. But... sometimes it feels like painting, but mine isn't really. I'm not much of an artist.
In that, I would disagree. Certainly with sound.
Okay. That's fair. I am good at sound. I think we can acknowledge that without it being up my hill. Not good at everything like you are, though.
She thinks for a moment. Can you create my tools, the small tokens I use to
Yes.
cast?
I think I remember what they look like. Tell me if they're wrong.
Conjure up replicas of the chest-like
Everything is just like
pieces.
appearing in puffs
Yeah.
of smoke, like slightly rainbow smoke.
She takes a little bit of. She takes one of them, which is like almost like a little stick, and draws some lines on the stone, positioning them, and says, "It is interesting. When I first learned to do this, it took hours to make one image.
Oh, you have patience.
And it was wrong.
Oh god, I'm sorry. It sounds miserable.
There are some benefits. As she carefully, actually quite adeptly maneuvers, you see a similar process happening as she paints into existence almost a little nashi pear which bobs in the air. Actually, it would remain static in the air because this is minor illusion. It
If
doesn't.
you put your hand in the right place.
You have to put your hand in just the right place.
Oh yeah, I can do ones.
But the first one I made was a little bit more like this. She adjusts a couple of things and you see the lines and the colour don't quite match up, and and it's not quite a circle, and it's just wrong enough to look really unnatural.
Oh no.
Oh, that looks very weird.
I'm just trying to think of the phrase you uses it. Yes, well, watercolour is my passion. She adjusts it again and it comes back into existence.
That looks lovely, though. But there's more detail in that than there is in mine. But I don't know. It's interesting watching you do this. Because I can do the same thing. But when you have your little tools and you move them around, I actually don't understand what you're doing. And I think that's interesting.
She points to the tools, actually. They were a gift from my...
From your mistress?
From my mistress. Well, from my patron. I was her mistress. But each one can remember.
How do you mean?
It is like
a spirit remembers?
More like writing on a scroll, or flicking the beads of an abacus into position. They can remember. It is so hard to prep them originally, but they can store and recall parts of the spell. She taps one. This one, and she adjusts, and you see her turn it while holding another in place, and the Nashi pair's colour just smoothly shifts from a sort of faintly tan colour to a deep to like a pale purple. She adjusts it again to a deep purple. It remembers colour.
Ah.
And adjust again.
She have a transform tool.
She's got a transform tool.
Do we know where the magic comes from for Saran? Like the source of it?
Saran does not have a spirit. As far
I
as you
assume
can
she was
tell,
sort
She has a
wizardry.
patron.
as far as you can tell, Saran is doing magic in a similar manner to
Like
say wisdom.
Yeah.
It seems to be laborious and require tools, but it's also the techniques and the style are different to the spell casting of Jova.
Yeah.
So yes,
Voila.
you do not know.
That would be fun as a reveal.
But she doesn't really seem to be able to do much beyond this that you've seen her do.
It's really interesting.
It took months to get to a point where I can do this in a few seconds.
I can only imagine, honestly. Because mine just sort of happened, but not on my own. Like, it's because I could see things and they started being friends with me.
The priests, I believe, do the same.
Yeah, they do. I was nearly a priest.
You have, yes, of course, you have the sight you have mentioned.
Yeah.
She shakes her head. I was not so fortunate.
Yeah, it is. Does make things easier, I think.
I think you are your closest friends. You are a strange trio. I mean that in the sense that for you to have found one another and bonded in this way is fate or fortune.
Yeah, it does seem that way, actually. It's a bit weird because we just met in the pub. When it comes down to it, that's what happened. We met in the pub, and then we were friends forever.
She takes a moment to process pub. Drinking house, yes.
Yes. One of those.
None of us have the ability to control fate at all, so I'm sure it was totally a coincidence.
I hadn't considered that.
I hadn't either.
That
I was
would
like,
make sense, wouldn't it? Fun.
I mean, you needed a place to hide and someone to distract you from the guy whose ring you stole.
oh dear.
And you needed friends at that point, because being on your own was not going well.
Oh, I don't
And you needed
like
to leave.
that.
Or maybe it's just a coincidence.
Like you needed to get out of town and a ship turned up.
Yeah, let's not mention this to Scamp,
Nope.
who already feels weird about taking other people's
I feel like Celestia has like
fate in their own hands.
5 seconds where she just stares into space and then goes, nope. Carries on having a date. I confess, my darling, I planned making a mountain with a stupid statue of you on it, and then I didn't plan past that, if I'm honest. I just thought I'd throw that out there.
That folks.
It's nice to see you, though.
She smiles. It is good to see you. I mean, this is your dream? She gestures at the illusory pair. Can you make that real?
Yes. 2 pairs.
She takes the illusory pair out of the air and it holds.
Yeah. Oh, that looked really cool.
I wish I could do that in real life.
Yeah, we could have food, drinks, we could... I don't know. We could...
Could what?
Shut up, you. And we could make weird little illusions of things, and we could just sit here and scream for a while.
She does. She just goes, ah!
I also scream. Well, that was enormously fun, and I can't believe you did it because you were so composed, and this was clearly just my brain being ridiculous. But
Well, no one else is here.
no one else is here. That is true.
And I will gladly take you up on that offer. But
Trouble is
drinks
that's
and
around.
food. Drinks and food first.
Right.
And talk.
What would you like to drink?
Just some tea.
Tea. Okay, what kind?
There's a particular type of black tea. You dry out and smoke the leaves.
Smoky black tea. That I can do.
Lapsang.
Oh, yeah. A dragon gave me some once. Yeah. I can't make that less weird. That just sort of... he lived in a box on our ship for a while. His name was Lapsang, actually, because it was his favourite tea. And why not, I suppose. But...
Not the strangest I've heard. Dragons are curious creatures, from all I have heard.
Yeah, I didn't get to know that one very well. I liked Scamp a lot, but didn't really like me. Because I got overprotective and worried.
I could not imagine.
I've never once been overprotected or worried, ever. Very worry-free person.
Solitary,
Dragons.
yes. They are born a multitude, and most die young. And those that learn to survive keep the trick of surviving.
Met a couple thus far. One of them was an idiot who just appeared to want recipe books and shouted about them.
What?
Rotha told you.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, was really into cooking. It was very strange, if I'm honest. But like slightly out of tone with the rest of our lives, I feel. I just went into a different genre for the day. Met some cool people though.
I'm sure that will never come back to haunt you.
Never. There's a point where like we hear this like cracking from behind us, and there's the beating of shh. So don't suggest things to me. They can actually happen. This is all still in my brain, technically.
I have to admit, the number of wonders and terrors you have seen, I nearly panicked when I first heard of Corzin's wife.
Molly's a terror.
A red-headed woman named Moll.
What?
You don't have that story?
Excuse me? I mean, there's a song that I made up about Redhead Molly, but it's just about her being cool and a bit shouty.
She laughs a little.
I'm confused. Tell me the story of Redhead Molly over this tea. I forgot. The pot of tea appears. Small cups or big cups? What are we talking? What do you like?
Small small kettle, something to steep in, please.
Ah, that's where the drow got it from then.
She nods.
Not usually black tea though, usually white tea with spices.
Most of the empire sits beneath Haldanos.
That would make sense. I didn't know that. Interesting. I know what it looks like then.
You produce a classical sort of Haldanic tea set.
Yeah.
And
with the little, with the big pot of boiling water and the little pot what you put the leaves in, and the other little pot what you strain them into, and then the two little cups. Like
and a nice little wooden tray.
Yeah.
Yes. And as she speaks, she pours the hot water over the tea leaves, lets them steep, and begins serving and straining.
Are you a floor person, or would you prefer a chair and table?
Floor cushions, if you please. Low table.
Let me do that.
She thinks for a moment. Mao Sing Hong. It loosely translates to scarlet hair. But I've heard in Jovan, her called red-haired Moll. A wanderer.
That's fun.
Her legend has existed for centuries. A woman travelling, place to place. Sometimes a goblin, sometimes hob, or elf, or human.
Never halfling.
Perhaps I've not heard. Always a woman, always red hair. She moves to a place, and she is filled with life and vibrance. She drinks, dances.
I mean, that's accurate.
And she brings festivities where she goes. And they do not end. Inhibitions loosen. Grudges, long buried, spill to the surface. Drinking, fighting. The rule of law breaks down. Cities burn. And she moves on.
Oh.
There are legends that say of those who say they've killed her, burned her, stabbed her, cut her head from her shoulders. And always somewhere else, a red-haired woman, Moll or Mao, moves on and finds somewhere else to have a good time, unless she is driven out.
I'm a bloody good storyteller, do you know that? I've got goosebumps.
She smiles, passes you pours the tea, takes a sip.
Thanks. Have you ever heard of Dionysus?
That's a good question. Has she?
I mean, potentially not. Like,
It's pretty obscure. She's pretty learned, but she frowns. It rings a bell. Old Tyrion? Pre-Regency.
it was pre-Regency, yeah.
Beyond that, but the name, I feel as if I have read it once in a book.
No, just reminded me of him, that's all. New god, saint,
God.
spirit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely God for you. I'm never sure these days what I think about it all. It's not to shit on whatever you think about it all.
It is very funny when Regency missionaries try to come to court.
I bet it is.
All your gods are not gods. We know gods when we see gods.
I'm not necessarily doubting that they're gods. I don't think they're saints. I think that's bullshit. Right, I think the Regency angle is shit. But how do we know they're not all just varying sizes of spirit? Like all of them, including the ones that people think are the really, really big gods. Like, they're not just all sort of the same thing but different sizes. I don't know. I was brought up with a very confusing religious upbringing, and then some other stuff happened where, like, we met some of them, and it's a bit, yeah. I don't know. Complex, you know? I definitely think you're more right than the Regency people, but I don't know where I sit sometimes.
She shrugs a little. Where I was brought up, the gods take care of heavenly matters.
And toilets.
That can be a very heavenly matter. Some take care of earthly matters.
Mm-hmm.
And we take care of living. And you know who they are, so you can bribe them.
As I recall, when we last talked about this, you said you were the god of dates that needed bribing. You were suitably bribed.
Most assuredly.
Excellent.
And it seems you are a goddess of dreams.
I'll take God, but thank you.
Oh,
And definitely not as well. Really just a person with fun magic.
Perhaps your friend with the rainbow that you've talked about.
Yeah, they are somewhere about. They sort of go somewhere a little bit in the Dreamfold. They are getting bigger. Definitely. There used to be more of them. I used to have a few spirits, but now mostly they sit inside the rainbow somewhere. And we're sort of part of each other now. I don't think we could split up, really. We're sort of the same thing these days. Which is interesting. I feel that should be disturbing, but it's not actually. It's comforting.
Perhaps there's something in them that completes, and in you that completes.
I never thought of it that way, but that is how it feels, actually.
It certainly has a striking cosmetic effect.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I think this is just permanent now. This is how I look. You know, it's fun. What? How are you looking at me like that? It's really sweet.
I was simply wondering whether the reeds match the rooftops.
I mean, I suppose you have to find that out at some point, won't you, if you want to know?
Well, I can't trust anything I see and hear. You can appear as you wish.
I can. make some really, really long rainbow reeds just like all around us. like bulrushes.
Yeah.
but just rainbow. And just look at her steadily.
Smiles back. Well then.
Well then.
She reaches forward, hovers a hand near your cheek,
Lean in.
and takes you by the chin, pulls you forward into a kiss.
And I kiss her.
And the camera pans to the city of Sol.
Yeah, I think there's probably like they, fall backwards to the floor and then we we pan over to the fireplace that just appeared in the city.
Oh,
for no
yes.
reason.
The fireplace blooms into existence in one corner of the.
No, it's not anywhere
cave.
sensible. It's just like in the midair,
Burning with rainbow flames.
Yeah. Excellent.
And with that, the morning comes.
And it's not the only thing that.
It is. Finally.
Oh, how much sleep have I got? Not much.
Celestia sleeps in.
Like real late.
Celestia solidly oversleeps. So Scamp and Corzin,
Obviously, if you get bored and wake her, I suppose.
you are up first on the 25th of Falling Leaves, and I'm going to say that Corzin. I actually want to know. Corzin, what do you fill your morning with? And optionally Scamp as well.
Okay.
But I definitely know Corzin's involved.
Yeah. Corzin would probably, shortly after getting up, do like the first round of ship-based errands, like checking in with everyone, like the watch officer, the thing. He'd do primeval awareness, even though it's still in a city and what have you. This is all like regular, everyday shipboard stuff. Then he would go back. Check on Molly, check on little Corzin, because
It's bizarre because you're getting like now that the basilisk is here. When you're doing a primeval awareness, you're getting like you're getting double Kraken sense.
Yeah. Actually, that's probably one of the reasons why he's doing it like more fastidiously on a daily basis, because he knows the situation has changed and he's wanting to keep an eye on like whether or not it changes again, because anything at this point is a notable thing. Like one set of Kraken sense, that's fine. We know what that is. Anything more, that's like, what the hell?
Also, you shouldn't be able to sense it if Celestia is not in the sending room.
I think we've.
Oh no, primeval awareness.
established the
never
primeval
mind.
awareness.
Because it's too big for a sanctum, so it
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
The primeval awareness is it just about like the sense of it overwhelms a sanctum just about because of the weight of what it is.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't scry on it or anything, but it just. I think we ruled that basically it's impossible to hide to just the scent of it to cause it.
Also, we established that because he's now got to the point where he can detect something within 6 miles, he also knows if it's within 1.
Yeah, and both of these are within 1 mile.
Yeah, okay, fine. He'd then go back to the stateroom, check on Molly, little Corzin. Probably would bring Molly a cup of tea and then get little Corzin up to go and have breakfast. Because it's the only way to knock not yet jet lag in the in the behind, as far as he's concerned, is like gets the regular meals in of a day.
After all of this, you do actually get asked, sent out. I'm trying to think what it was. Yeah, you basically get you are actually asked to... Oh, who is it? No, my mind's blanked. Anyway, I'm just going to say then, you do actually find yourself taking a bit of a walk in the city a little bit later on. Not much later on, because little Corzin is like still groggy, is like from the jet lag. And Molly over breakfast does suggest, maybe you should take an hour for some fresh air, give him a chance to walk about town.
Probably a good idea. Are you going to be alright here?
Oh, that's fine. I'll hold down the ship.
Excellent.
And as you are going on your walk, Scamp, up to you whether you are even here or...
No, I'm going to be very sensibly reading my geography books and casting Phantom Steed every hour to make a giant snail just hang out next to Celestia as she sleeps.
until she wakes up. It's a riding snail.
Yep.
Racing snail.
A racing snail.
Wakes up.
Yep.
There's not much space in our room.
It's a big snail.
It's the remaining floor space, isn't it?
Yeah.
There was nothing untoward with the checking in with whoever the officers on watch.
No, nothing unusual has turned up. However, as you are taking a circuit through the northern part of the city and passing the crews sort of bidding up pieces of working through the wreckage of the battery, you, with your many eyes, do spot something just under one of the pieces of rubble. You catch a glimpse of what you swear is... No, you recognize it. Bent under a piece of rubble, you catch sight of a sawn-off blunderbuss.
I am immediately running over to it.
Yeah, you immediately run over that. Little Corzin is still what's going on? He's rubbing at his eyes. Perhaps fortunately, given what you might discover. But as you go over and you push up the piece of rubble, you see a broken bottle, the stained remnants of Apple Blossom's best, and a very thirsty-looking Alton Apple Blossom look up.
Alton?
Oh, bloody time.
Oh, don't you ever scare me like that again. And I help him out.
He comes out just covered in dust. I need a drink.
I bet you do.
I just need a drink. Any drink.
Right, I'm going to escort him to the nearest place I can get him a drink.
Oh yeah, very quickly you are able to, he just gulps down some water, and then some more, throws up a little, then a bit more, before finally, and before saying I reckon I could maybe manage something to eat. Hi, Alton. I haven't seen you for a few days. Yeah, well, I've been stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I'm going to catch the eye of whoever is staff in this place and put down some money and say, get this man some decent broth right away.
It's the nearest place is in fact Jim Diamond's Bar and Grill. So the broth that is brought out is very chicken flavored and surprisingly greasy, but he does take a spoon and start spooning a bit of broth in. I'm like, thanks, you're a lifesaver.
Well, it's just lucky I caught sight of one of those, and I indicate the sawn off blunderbuss.
Yeah, one is totaled from the smash, from the crash. The other one's still intact.
What happened? Was it when the battery went down?
Yeah, pretty much. I was in the middle of I was in the middle of we saw the cannon fire coming in. I was in the middle of directing the evacuation. Bleeding ceiling came in. Fortunately, just before it hit, the ceiling came down. One of our cannons exploded, and a bit of the shrapnel smacked into one of the powder barrels. Didn't set it off, but it did smack right into me, and then I fell under, and then that smacked me into some more barrels and a table, and those fell on top of me, and then the ceiling caved in, and I reckon those must have broken the ceiling's fall.
Oh, so the table. You know, if it weren't for the fact that I've actually witnessed this in person, this phenomena, whatever it is, I'd say this was some kind of very deep magic.
Yeah, blame Uncle Norrit. It's gotta be his fault somehow.
Yeah.
It usually is, right? Just keep them coming.
Yeah, you.
It seems like we're having second breakfast here, then.
Indeed, you end up spending a fair bit of time with Norrit.
Not with
Not
Norrit.
Norrit, with Alton. That's not a secret reveal. That's just me getting the name wrong. I've just said Norrit a few moments before.
What a reveal that
That's
would be
fine.
at this point. Just peel like Scooby-Doo style. Takes the head off. I was
Let's
Norrit
see
the
who you
whole
Oh.
That would be a choice, TM.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
No, this is not in fact Norrit Majesty. But you do spend a fair bit of time with Norrit, catching him
Oh,
up.
you did it again.
Fucking hell, with Alton catching him up on the events of the last few days and everything as he mainlines broth and tries to work his way to slowly managing a few solids because 3 days of starvation and dehydration.
Yeah, let's get this man some new clothes as well.
Yeah, he's smelling a bit ripe.
Yep.
He fucking is, yeah.
Speaking of ripe, Celestia, you open your eyes to see two more eyes just staring at you. They are about the size of nectarines. They don't have a head around them. You see two glistening, gelatinous eyeballs staring at you, and it takes you a moment to realise there are stalks attached.
Oh God! Bad egg. What is wrong with you? Is this you? Please tell me this is you.
The snail rears back a little, and you see the snail's horrifying, giant flat teeth.
That's awful. What is wrong with you? Do they normally have those?
I'm pretty sure snails have teeth.
I mean, they do chew things. Like, you can hear them sometimes when they're, like, eating cardboard.
You can actually. They must
Yeah.
have teeth, mustn't they? Or something
They,
similar.
I mean, it's.
Jason at the
I'm
end-
going to be
This
honest.
is what you tune in for. Jason at the end of the table going, do snails have teeth?
Well, they sort
Into
of have
Google.
teeth. It's not a pair of jaws. It's one jaw with thousands of
I was
teeth on
thinking
it.
sort of
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Fuck.
like a worm. As
They
in,
have
like, sandworm
regular-
teeth.
Yeah,
is
it's
my
a
immediate
regular.
thought of what it would look like.
It looks very much like the fucking like giant sandworms from Dune.
Excellent.
Except that it's it's only one jaw. Like if it rolled itself all the way around, it would be like them. But it's actually horrifying
This is
seeing a
everything I
snail
want.
this size.
Please make it go away. Fuck. This is the worst.
If you punch it, it'll go away.
I'm not touching that. Fuck you.
Punch the snail.
No.
Jeffrey, stab the snail.
It just breaks into just planes of golden light.
Do you have any idea how shit my nerves are at the moment? Why would you do that?
I've been feeling weird and impulsive.
Is that unusual? Like more than usual?
You hear friend comment, no.
Yes. No.
Is friend lying?
Roll an insight check.
Celestia would forever be squinting at friend to see if he's lying. Friend is a he, yes? I'm not
Yes.
making that up here. No, he is, I remember. Insight, 16.
As far as you can tell, friend does believe that Scamp is no more weird than usual, but is
Trust him.
pretty dry about the fact.
So you think you've been more weird than usual?
Maybe. I don't know, it's been a weird few days.
Do you want to talk about it?
Nah, I just want to be... I don't know. I guess we had to be adults for a bit, and now I just want to make snails. And whales.
You know, I can't actually blame you for that. I wanted to go on a stupid date last night and I did that because we've been
Good.
being adults.
Well, that's good.
Although that was an adult, I suppose. But
I mean, yeah, there was a grown-up thing. Did you have a grown-up time?
I did have a very grown-up time. Yes, I'm looking at the ceiling. I'm not looking at
I never want to hear about that.
Good. Good. I'm just
you
no
can-
eye contact for you.
We'll leave,
Jeffrey's trying to make eye contact though.
we'll leave that,
I'm climbing up on the top bunk and looking down at her.
we'll leave that to the fanfic authors. But what I will say is that was
Oh my God,
also
that would be amazing.
that was also in
I'm
an
well down
environment.
for smut.
Also in an environment, a highly suggestible imaginary environment as
I
well.
would imagine there were some exciting things that showed up. I mean, we've kind of established that Celestia's subconscious is a little bit involved sometimes, and it's not like you're thinking rationally while in the process of.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, like, to an extent, but, you know, there'd be an extent to which your subconscious would be slightly less easily controlled
Yep.
while you were fucking someone, I would argue.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah, it was probably very exciting. You know. Props. I was trying to think of the worst possible word, and I think I found it.
Moving swiftly onwards.
Who's gonna go red at the table, and who isn't? We can't see Sam, so he's cheating.
I've got a red light on me, you wouldn't tell anyway.
This is
It's true.
Right,
We should
so-
probably give that context. Sam doesn't just shine red light in his face whenever he's recording a podcast. He has a little recording sign.
Yeah.
So that
Yes.
people
little
know
red
not to
recording.
bug him while he's recording. It's sweet.
Here it is.
And it's red.
Yes.
He's not just I must like myself so that I feel the drama, which I also love.
Yeah, we would be very here for it if that was a choice.
Yeah.
It would be a submarine drama, if anything, if there's no other light on in here.
Yeah. So, what do you want to do next?
Oh, we have to be grown-ups again now, don't we?
I don't want to. I'm going back to bed.
I'll make another snail.
Oh, fuck. Fine.
I'll make 3 of them.
Kill me. I get up.
Okay. You
I leave the room before Scamp can make another snail because I
It does take 10 minutes, so
Yeah.
this is probably a good call.
Oh yeah, no, I just go before that can happen.
We should go and do the thing.
I don't want
I
to.
don't want to do the
Breakfast. We have to do that first.
I've had 3 already.
I haven't had any. I'm having breakfast.
Alright,
Fuck
yours.
you. Well,
Twice.
I'll ask Belle, and she'll be very nice to me because she's nice. So I'm going to go and do that.
I mean, we're on a halfling menu, so you were able to get
There
brunch.
is food all the time on this
Yeah.
ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Technically, no, you've passed brunch. We're into 11s.
Yeah.
11 feels about right. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
So you catch up. You have some 11s. Thank you, table.
Very
tables.
slowly.
You drank your feet having some 11s.
A bit
Which
of whiskey
is
and the coffee. Preferably when no one's looking.
which for you is a bowl of vegetable broth with half a hard-boiled egg in it.
That sounds really nice, actually.
Yes. And eventually You
It
get
takes
to
so
it.
long.
I will say that
Needlessly
because of the amount of time you take,
I'll make some more snails. I'm going to make a
Corzin.
snail and leave it in little Corzin's room.
Corzin and little Corzin do return. Little Corzin heads over to his. Goes.
I
over-
failed a wisdom save, so
Sure.
I'm making more snails.
Yeah. So look, like little Corzin seems to have woken up. And as you come back to the ship, he goes off to the stateroom to go to his room in it. And as you're just Corzin, as you're getting. You kind of need to check your or at your desk, trying to find something you need, and you just hear a voice go, there's a snail.
There's a what?
There's a snail. You look
You guys
around.
to investigate.
You look around. Taking up most of little Corzin's room is a giant snail with a saddle.
Scamp!
It's pink.
Oh,
Little Corzin, you can see, is already trying to figure out how to ride it, except for the fact that it's so big it can't fit through the door. It's just taking up the room. the shell is actually like most of it would probably fit through the door, but the shell is wider than the door frame.
How are you gonna... Oh, just... Hold on a moment. Scamp!
Yes?
what did you do?
Nothing.
I was feeling you didn't think this one through.
What? What have I done?
Look how many teeth it's got.
I knew you weren't just fucking colouring at the breakfast table, you little shit.
It wouldn't even fit through the door. About 14,000 on average, by the way.
That's a lot.
Corzin would know this. Also, why not on the decks? In fact, no. Probably best not have it up there. People will be slipping and sliding all over the place.
Yeah, you gotta be practical about these things.
There's a lot of slime in my room now.
Oh, don't worry, it's not real. It'll go away in theory.
Well, I hope so. Otherwise, I know where you're going to be swabbing today.
Oh, no.
What if you could make some even if you tried?
This is a really good question.
Sorry, Scamp hasn't mopped anything since like week 1 for me.
Yeah,
I'm crying about
gonna
objects.
say the slime doesn't.
Yeah, true.
The slime doesn't really persist. In fact, it actually doesn't really persist much off. Like, you know, when the creature moves, the slime seems to evaporate after it. It only pulls in its immediate presence, and it does indeed go when the projected creature does, because this thing doesn't. It's basically a hologram. It's basically like a solid light hologram when it comes to it. Like it doesn't produce material.
Yeah.
Right,
You know.
Okay.
You couldn't hollow out a phantom horse and hide yourself inside it for warmth like Luke Skywalker.
Or cut off a leg and have some food.
Yeah. Why? No, I don't know why those came to mind.
Yep. That happened.
You couldn't make a really more sensible one is you couldn't make a phantom cow and milk it.
True.
That is a more
Yeah,
sensible
that's
one.
Well, we should have had the hint from the fact Marjorie, even when in pigeon form, doesn't shit.
Yeah.
Or eats
Yeah.
or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Though interestingly for you and Celestia, actually wait. No, you totally have seen something go into Phantom Steeds. But like something less than Marjorie, barely visible.
Right.
But the Phantom Steeds also have a lot less autonomy than Marjorie does. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. You know,
There is some.
robotic horses.
There is
basically, like
something puppeting a Phantom Steed, but you're not sure what. It's just not whatever it is. It's less involved than Marjorie
And
is.
they don't do like an imitation of
No,
moving. They're quite like
no, they're pretty like eerily still. They are
Yeah.
a bit. Actually, yeah, no, there isn't a spirit puppeting Phantom horses. Phantom Steeds are what you get if you make a Marjorie and don't put Marjorie in it. essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they are
Not that
pretty
we've
much
ever
pure
told
on
Scamp what
program.
we saw in my
Nope.
page.
No, Scamp has no idea this is how the familiar spell works.
Alright, Scamp. So, what was the... was it just, like... Open the door, ta-da, snail? Was that your thought process with this one?
Pretty much. That's about as far as it got, yeah.
That part worked pretty well.
Thank you.
You'd still need to put a saddle on it somewhere. Would it go on the shell, or...?
The saddle is indeed on the shell. You peer up and see. It's a very small saddle and kind of smushed against the ceiling because Scamp made this snail too big.
Yeah, I think maybe let's put a ladder on it next time.
Can you do that?
Definitely if you were expecting anyone, smaller than the average human, yes.
Huh. Oh, well, we've all learned a valuable lesson today.
Such as how many
Have we?
teeth snails have.
I imagine waking up to that was rather intimidating, wasn't it?
Yes, it was actually, especially after a few days of everything being fucking mental. Just wake up with a big pair of fucking slimy, nectarine-sized eyes staring at you.
Alright, well, we'll have to make a note on there. So if there's anyone we want to intimidate, we just summon one of those in their bed.
Yeah,
That'd fucking do it, I can tell you.
I thought it was rather nice.
Feeling rather relaxed this morning. That's fucking gone, hasn't it?
Really, why were you relaxed?
No reason at all. Stop looking at me with your looking eyes.
We should do some racing on those snails. Wait, why are you... what are you talking about?
I had some very nice
Oh, no,
tea last night.
that's perfect.
Ah, okay.
It's not a
He
lie.
understands exactly why and is trying to move the conversation on.
So Sia just blushes, and pretends she isn't.
I hope it went well.
It went really well, thank you.
Excellent.
Sorry for waking up so late.
Nah, it's alright.
No, after the last couple of days, we all deserved a rest.
Actually, that's a lie. I'm not remotely sorry
You
for
shouldn't
waking
be.
up late. I regret nothing.
You should have seen some of the other things that were in the room earlier. You woke up at the right time.
Fucking
Well,
hell.
no, we actually have
Never
some
going
good
to
news.
sleep.
We found Alton.
What?
What?
He's alive.
Fuck! Seriously? Where is he?
Yes, he was trapped under some rubble, badly dehydrated and in need of a good meal and a bath, but
Fuck, it's
he'll
been
be
3 days.
Wow.
I think he must have been trapped with some of that apple blossom's best. Probably the only thing that kept him alive.
Wow.
I mean, seriously, if he ever wants to go into business marketing that stuff, I think he's got a good sell on his hands there.
I feel like some of my worldview has reasserted itself because Autumn Apple Blossom still can't die. Fuck.
Yep.
Honestly, some part of my brain has been having a crisis over the fact that Apple Blossom is probably actually dead for the last 3 days.
Oh, well,
We should take him presents later. I think he deserves them.
Yes,
Do
we
you think
should.
you'd like a snail?
No.
I
No
think he'd
one
like a
would
new
like a snail.
blunderbuss. One of them is completely and utterly buggered.
Yeah, that sounds like
that.
a better option. I'm getting a new gun.
Or you can mend things, can't you?
Could man. Oh,
More fun to
yeesh.
get him a new one.
At which point, friend points
Maybe.
out, I mean, you do know how to make guns, and
Ooh. Yeah.
I could give you a hand.
Yeah. I suppose I could. I could make one if we've got the stuff.
Maybe you just make one. Like you made
Yeah.
a swing. Mad.
Oh. I don't know why that feels weirder than all the other things. Huh.
Because it kills people?
Yeah, but I do that anyway. Maybe because I give it to someone else and they
Because you
use
could
it
mass
to
produce
kill.
things for other people to kill people.
Yeah, I suppose that's...
I think that's pretty normal to feel weird about, actually.
Yeah, but I picked a ship up and dropped it the other day, so, the sense of scale's a bit off.
Dropped it?
A little bit.
It was a toy, it's fine.
Celestia. I'm not 6.
I'm sorry, I just thought you might not want a really gruesome story, so I wanted to give a way out.
I mean, it
Apparently
sounded
was sharp.
cool. That sounds cool.
I
But
bet-
that's probably... Huh. Oh.
It was during the battle.
Corzin looks a little sad, but not that bothered, because
He's a child.
he is a child and doesn't quite have the depth of imagination to fully comprehend the horrors of what Scamp is talking about.
Yeah.
Mostly because he wasn't there, which is probably a secret. Probably we should be very glad about.
Yeah.
We should go do the grown-up thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
we should.
yeah, we
as
probably
soon as
should.
we're up for that. Well, sooner it's done, the sooner it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get it done. There's still a child here. You don't want to come down. It's really boring.
It is. It's going to be mostly sitting quietly.
And staring.
I could bring a
You're right,
book.
you know. Probably
Or-
best
Or I can make you a snail outside and you can go play with that for a bit of
Okay.
more fun. Let's do that.
You take 10 minutes to make a snail.
It's going to be a bit smaller. Like,
Little
not
bit
quite
sized
Corzin
for
scale.
Corzin Jr.
But, you know,
But yeah, you make a riding snail and
Like he can get on this.
yeah.
yeah.
Actually,
And he's-
this would be a point. The previous day, when we were running around with Kerberos, at the points at which little Corzin wasn't himself a dog, teaching him the various command words for Kerberos to make him go and come back, and
That's fine.
yeah,
Kerberos, it's an interesting one. Kerberos will do that. Will obey someone else's instructions, but only if you are also on Kerberos,
Okay,
or if they are the one who summons him from the collar.
right. Okay, good to know. Well, we probably worked that one out.
You work that one out when you're standing off to one side and little Corzin tries the commands and they don't work. And then when you get on and little Corzin tries the commands, they do. And yeah, you realise, oh, okay, Kerberos ain't going to move unless you're obviously... Yeah.
It's okay. The intention of the person who has the collar, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
But when you dismiss Kerberos and then little Corzin conjures Kerberos, he responds only to little Corzin.
That's a
and
problem.
then it's and only pays attention to your commands if little Corzin is also on Kerberos.
All right, now you're driving now. Let's make sure that we understand. Whoa!
But yes, Kerberos is
day.
once again collapsed in his collar in your possession. So,
Excellent.
but yes, little Corzin is very happy with the racing snail and proceeds to race around at honestly terrifying speed, but quite securely on his tiny snail. Sadly, we do not have someone also riding a giant bat and a huge rock man on a motorcycle.
Ha.
So, where do the three of you want to go?
Sending room, I guess.
I think we have to do this in the sending room, don't we?
Okay.
Yep. I will relieve the person on duty in the sending room.
Okay.
Which happens a fair amount. There's people just like, oh, well done, you're off shift, goodbye.
Yeah.
It's Auden. He's used to it.
Thank you.
It's alright.
It's a weird trick to do.
Yeah, it's
Nice
okay.
day.
More of the usual. Closes the door. And the three of you are left alone in the sending room.
Listeners, this is where we have a confession to make because me and Jason have talked about this off air and neither of us can remember the condition for getting finger snapped echo. So I'm just going to spin the eye and think about finger snap and you're all going to accept it. Cool? Cool.
Cool.
It was months ago with
Yeah.
no idea where it was. But yeah, magic. Woo.
If anyone remembers and gives us a timestamp, we can do it differently next time if we need to do it.
Yeah,
But for now,
I'm going
we
to
do
override
the
it
thing.
because
Oh wow.
You-
It's gone.
you place
Never
the
happened.
eye. You. Okay. so
Normal
place-
eye spinning precautions like
Yep.
the manacles, the chair,
Okay,
everything.
You are manacled. Yeah, you're not using the ring.
Yeah, I'm
You're just
not
spinning
manacled
it.
when I scribe. But how would we do
don't
it?
trust this, though. I think it's worth doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
You
also
need to be
able
manacled with your hands in front of
spin
you.
it, so I would. They
Yeah.
would need to be in front. So I would
Yeah.
do it slightly
Okay.
differently.
I assume then you'll bring in a table as well, a little folding table.
I
as
assume
well
there
as
was a
chair.
table in here because
Yeah, I mean-
presumably
Yeah.
the sending person would have to write
I mean,
down
actually,
the
yeah, there is a
sending.
table in here because you've got to write
I
down
sit on the
things.
floor and write things.
Yeah.
Well, most people don't. I guess some people do, but yeah.
No, there is a table and a chair. So you sit on the chair. You are manacled. Your hands are manacled in front of you. You're tied to it, and your feet are manacled, and you place the eye.
I don't really know how we do this, by the way, so I'm just sort of winging it. So if anything weird happens, help.
Yes.
Understood.
How do we tell if it's me who's come back? There's a spirit thing. Is there anything? Is there any other precaution we can put in place just in case, or do we just accept
Oh,
that?
that's a very good question.
Well, I suppose we could ask you what have we just been doing, because anyone who isn't you wouldn't know.
I mean, how my memories last time.
Yeah.
I think it's just the spirit, isn't it, that was different. So Corzin, no, please keep an eye.
Will do.
You place the eye on. I guess you probably actually have like a heavy weighted bowl for this because you live. You know, you're on a ship. You don't want something. You're not going to do it just on a flat surface. It'll roll off.
Although weirdly, I always picture when it's spinning, that
It
would
probably
stay.
stays in place regardless of the rock.
Yeah,
of
I
the
think you
ship,
could
so-
rock the table and it would
Yeah.
just stay there.
Yeah.
Weirdly,
Like unless you.
Yeah, it's
pick
like
I think
up
putting it
moved
on the table in the first place would be a problem.
Yeah.
Though. Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
probably have like a shallow bowl to begin
Probably
with.
got like gyroscopic force, so
Yeah.
yeah.
But you place it on the ball on the table, spin. When you're trying to scry, you'll usually do like show me a thing. So do you say anything?
So take me to
Take
Finger
me to
Snap's
Finger
Echo.
Is what you say. Cool. You spin it. It spins. It slows. It stops. You look up. Yeah, I mean, it's just you haven't gone anywhere. Scrying room, Scamp, Jeffrey, Old Motherfinger Snap, Marjorie, Corzin, just staring at you from behind the table.
Wait, hang on. What?
Anything work?
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
You look around, neither of you can see this, but you see a hunched, large, old, elderly woman with deep, sort of like purple-black skin, crooked fingers, and a baleful sort of gaze.
Do either of you see this?
Where?
Where?
You can see me.
Right.
I put my hand where Celestia's pointing.
It's weird. Celestia, you just see, it's bizarre. If you focus, you can see that Scamp's hand is passing through Finger Snap, but on first glance, it looks like Scamp is just like passing, put their hand behind Finger Snap.
Like here?
Yeah, but it's not. I can see her more than. Yeah, weird.
From a spirit side of things, do I see anything differently?
Good question. You focus. There is an intensity about the eye
Okay.
itself. There's always a certain intensity about the eye, but it seems slightly more intense right now.
Okay, I can't
but you
believe I've
can't-
not thought of doing this before.
Yeah.
But if there's nothing out of the ordinary, just generally looking at stuff or seeing if I can see spirits, I'm gonna, blink and see if I can see anything different on the ethereal plane
Okay, you shift focus.
with the eye out.
You shift focus for a moment to the still world, and you get it's the sending room again. Everything in shades of grey. You can see 3 figures stood behind Scamp.
Mm-hmm.
Purple, blue, silvery, blue, and leaning against a wall and looking, arms folded and looking kind of pissed off. You see the purple version of Scamp as well.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see any other manifestations there.
Alright.
And as usual, Scamp and Celestia are kind of fuzzy and indistinct from this.
Okay.
Like shadows from this stance.
Good check, though. I wondered.
Yeah, no, that's... Yeah, I can't believe I hadn't thought of that before. Anyway.
That's a really good shout.
Right. Whatever you're seeing, we're not. Like...
How does this work, then? Are you here of a fashion? What is this?
Call on me, and I am here.
Right. Is that like a forever thing, or...?
You may send me away as well.
Okay, good to know.
Simply tell me to go.
Okay, I'm not going to do that yet. So when we last met, you said that there were other powers in the eye to be unlocked, but that could only be done with help.
You wish me to train you to use one of them?
Yes. Is there more than one?
Yes, but you must master them in turn.
Right.
To descend through the levels of the eye.
What's at the bottom of the levels of the eye?
The sea.
What
But
happens when one gets there?
there is a good chance one would drown. Don't go all the way to the bottom. The deeper you go, the more power and the more risk as you grow closer to the source.
Okay. How many layers away am I?
A few.
Right. Does each one of those have a different power, or just
Yes.
more? Oh, fuck. How many are there? Loads?
Enough.
Are the powers as distressing as being able to see the fucking future?
That depends on what you find distressing.
That's a terrible answer.
But from what I have seen of your reactions, perhaps. I don't know you very well.
I don't.
The first power, though, is how to cast an echo of yourself into another.
How do you mean?
You may create an echo as my originator, the true finger snap, did. But weaker, more temporary in nature. And you may place it in someone else, displacing their nature. At first, only for a short time. But with skill, you may learn to keep it there and to swap places with it.
Ugh. That's terrifying. So the other levels within the eye, are they stronger versions of this, or are they completely other things?
First, you must learn to create an echo.
Right.
Only then is it worth exploring the other ways you may use it.
Right.
You already have the power. You use it when you cast yourself to what might be, or the memory of what was.
So that version of me that goes there, it's a similar sort of thing.
Yes,
Right.
and an echo of what could be or was is returned.
What?
You would think of it as swapping places.
Yes.
I would say this. Pour water from one jug to another. It takes the shape of the jug.
Yes.
Now imagine you change one jug to match another. The water is the same water, but the shape has changed.
Mm-hmm.
That is a loose and imperfect metaphor for what you are doing when you cast yourself forward or back, or even merely into the sea of sight.
Okay.
Instead, you will cast yourself or a self into another in the now. You will change the shape of their jug to match yours.
Where do they go?
They do not go anywhere. The water is still there. And when your will passes, the jug will return to its shape.
Is there any way to learn this without practicing it on a person?
No.
Oh, shit. So, either of you fancy doing an experiment with me? It's not going to be fun.
What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
I mean, yeah, I probably should ask that before I immediately agree to
And will be
something.
safe.
There's a pause. For who?
If I did it on this one here, would they be safe?
Hello.
It's
I
an
wave at the
easy
wrong
enough
place.
question.
I do not know the effects if you did it many, many times, but they should return to themselves as they were.
Right, are you sure?
What I remember of using it, I do not believe I ever did so more than half a dozen times to the same person. And they were and they were still able to return to themselves after.
Right.
There is an elasticity to the self.
Okay, so I'm going to ask a really weird question. Which of you would be less traumatized by having an echo of me placed in you for, how long?
As long as you can hold it.
For as long as I can hold it, which apparently won't be that long.
At first.
At first.
Ah,
This is something that the eye can do.
Yes. Apparently it's the same as when I'm going back to the past. It's a similar type of version of me.
And the same thing as what happened that 7 days you weren't here.
yeah, is that what
yeah,
that
I
is?
think so.
So we'd go to where you were when that happened?
Where would they go? You've not really answered this. I don't get it. You said that they wouldn't go anywhere.
They will be transformed into you.
You'll be transformed into me.
Oh, yeah,
in
let's do
a
that.
sense, they will cease to exist.
In a sense, you'll cease to exist. I'm just,
and then
informed
you will
consent.
exist again.
And then you'll exist again.
Huh.
If neither of you want to do this, I completely understand.
Me.
What? Why?
No. I'll do it.
It's my responsibility.
Why?
Because, frankly, while I'm not particularly a fan of the idea, I think that there's less that can go wrong.
I agree.
But if you get lost, we can't find you.
Well, I better not get lost then. Now, you're sure that this is something that will only last for a specific amount of time?
Yes? Yes?
You must hold the echo's shape.
Oh,
When
so I
you
concentrate. It's a concentrating thing.
Yes, when you cease to hold it in place, its form will collapse back.
I think it's like when you're concentrating on a spell.
Okay.
So no longer than I tell it to be.
Makes sense, alright.
Sorry, Scamp, I don't want to be shitty. You've been really reckless lately, and I'm worried about you jumping into something.
Yeah, but
Also, you have scary powers, and I'm worried what's going to happen.
Yeah,
If we pair you with more weird magic, that does not feel like the best
no,
idea.
yeah, but Corzin's got a kraken to kill.
Yes, and look, if what you're saying is true, then this is a temporary thing. But if anything did go wrong with you specifically, Scamp, Celestia is right. There is an awful lot of potentially very destructive power there.
Yeah.
You said you could potentially just destroy a 100-foot radius thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, my magic trips out sometimes when I'm having a hard time.
Yeah.
And yours does too, and
You don't hurt people that you don't mean to hurt with it, so yeah, no, it's fine. It makes
I
sense.
have done a bit before, actually. But
Also, the two of you know me, you know my abilities, you know what are the easiest and most, hopefully, non-lethal ways of subduing me would be. I don't make this suggestion lightly.
I didn't mean you were dangerous, by the way. But
But I am.
magic like yours without control.
Everybody is dangerous in the wrong circumstances.
No,
I'm
you
trying
have
to avoid the
control,
wrong
like, it's-
circumstances.
Don't though, do they? Really?
You do, I think.
But what about little Corzin?
What do you mean?
What if something goes wrong? I don't know how we tell him that we lost his dad. But the body's still here, but the
Maybe we shouldn't do this.
We'd kind of need to. This is important.
I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't be doing this unless it might save our lives at some point.
That's the thing.
And we know that Corzin's supposed to get his head cut off soon.
We're gonna avoid that.
I think we're probably changing the date by the looks of where we're going soon, because I don't think we're sailing on the date that, they said, but
Oh, definitely
that
not.
doesn't mean it won't happen. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. I feel like I've said all the wrong things.
No.
It's not actually how I meant it. It was more in a... You're impulsive lately, and I'm scared that... I don't know, I'm scared if there was something interesting looking, you'd touch it.
That's how we would. That's very fair. I am more impulsive recently.
I'm worried. Sorry, this conversation should have been done better. I think I really realised it needed having until you said, I'll do the thing!
Yeah. Well, I haven't really thought about it, but you're right.
Sorry.
No, you're not wrong. None of it's wrong. You're right. I've got a lot of destructive power, and I'm impulsive, and if it's not controlled, it could do a lot of damage. So, yeah.
Balls. There's like a silence, and I don't know what to do now. I don't need to make you feel worse. It's been bad enough a few days.
We need to do this.
We do. We should.
This isn't an option, and it can't be anyone outside of us three.
No, it can't.
And you can't do it yourself. So, I mean, unless it works on Jeffrey. Jeffrey, do you order? Does it work on Jeffrey?
Would it work on Jeffrey?
In theory, there is no reason it couldn't.
Could it work on a random animal?
I don't recall using it on any, but you could try. You could also just find an enemy.
Well, we had a battle recently, so there aren't really any in town right now.
Ah, you do not take prisoners then.
What's the suggestion?
Out of character, do we take prisoners?
Yeah,
you
we took
totally
loads.
take prisoners.
They surrendered.
There's a lot of prisons.
Celestia goes, do you have prisoners?
No.
She's just pointed that out, but I hate it.
No,
And I don't want to say
no.
it, and I don't think we should do it, because consent... Oh, we finger snap. Consent. So, yeah. Unless it's literally...
Eventually, you will use this as a weapon.
Yes, I know I will use it as a weapon, but that will be in a battle, not on a person. There's a difference, right?
Yeah. And but if you do use it in battle later on, you'll do it knowing how it works and what happens. You won't be messing around on someone who has no say in it. It's different. We don't do things to prisoners.
They make a good point. You should practice before a combat situation.
But would it work on animals?
She doesn't know.
Because we've got a whole bunch of chickens.
This is true. You do have.
Do you think Algin would give us chicken?
I don't know. Is it going to affect his
chicken?
like his rituals if we lose the chicken's sense of self?
Just tell him to kill that one next if it gets weird.
I'm pretty sure we can take a chicken in a fight if we need to.
I think that sounds less scary.
Like 60%
Could you take
sure I
one
could.
every single day? Or would you rather sword fight in a rank? Sorry, memes.
I still think I'd rather fight an orangutan once a year than a chicken every day.
Yeah.
I repeat, there are so many things I have to do every day to look after my mortal shell and like be a grown up. If I had to also fight a chicken, I might just die.
I wouldn't win against the orangutan, so.
I think I'd rather get beaten up like once a year than have like a fucking chicken fight.
I'm not sure I'd survive the fight.
Well,
That's
like,
my.
right. When I get up, I have
Sorry,
to.
It
Like,
feels like a whole like Queen of the Green Knight thing.
I
know at the end of the year I'm going to have to fight an orangutan and I'm going to die.
but like when I wake up in the morning, like I have to, have a shower and eat something and like go outside so that my human shell gets some good chemicals in it, and like I have to do exercise once a day. I have to do like dumbbell things so that my arms don't fucking fall off because I'm an artist. I have to stretch. I have to like somehow remember to drink water. Like I'm about to fight a chicken as well. Like I just
Is it at the same time every day?
I mean, up to you.
Or is it a surprise chicken? Because that's a problem. Because if I'm just driving along and suddenly...
We're just at
Chicken.
work and there's some chicken there.
I feel, for some reason, when I imagine this, I imagine, like, if you have to drive to work, the chicken's just waiting for you in your car. So
yeah.
it's the same situation, but it's inescapable.
Right.
Maybe it's when you go for a shower. The
like,
chicken's
if it's
just
the
there.
same time...
Sounds terrible.
That is awful.
Naked chicken fight every day.
If it's the same time every day, I can at least have some sort of routine, which is actually pretty good for me, so...
Scamp and Celestia just like stare into the distance for a moment, thinking about fighting a chicken before snapping back to the moment at hand.
I think we should borrow chicken.
Because even if we do, like, destroy a chicken's sense of self, I mean, that's terrible. I feel bad about that. But also,
know, fuck
it
it.
really ain't going to change the chicken's life much.
No, we're gonna eat
I'll
it
see
next
one
week.
live without a head for a disturbing amount of time. They're not doing much with them brains.
No. I also don't know if we'll be able to tell if it has me in it or not because it's chicken.
I think we'd know.
But
I think if it's
Well, if you've
chicken
got any
has
level
you,
of control over
It's
it,
your
you can
personality,
tell it to
we
do
will
something
know.
we'll
okay,
recognise.
well, I'm gonna go ask Algina if I can borrow a chicken.
Yeah, you take the manacles off.
Well, what storm
Actually,
eats the chicken
could
while
somebody
you're...
else go and get the chicken because I do have manacles on still. I'd forgotten about that.
You realise you should probably actually do something.
Yes.
Can one of you get a chicken? I'm wearing manacles.
Corzin, can you get a chicken? It'll look super weird if I ask for one. People will have
Well,
questions.
Why? He'll just think you're making another Marjorie.
Yeah, but then I have to have it. Oh, but I don't. I give the. I could do that, but also
You're giving the animal back at the end.
I suppose I am good at lying. Okay, I'll go and do it.
Go on, you can do it.
You head down to... And indeed, you can see... hold up, let me just roll for the time of the month. Cool. It is not Chicken Sacrifice Day. Ajin is actually... you can see having like kneeling and sort of burning some incense. Sometimes he does it like down below. Sometimes he'll actually do like he likes it. He doesn't tend to do it in the cargo room, in the cargo hold most of the time. A lot of the time he'll like go up and like pray and pray in the sending room because it's one of the few quiet damn places in the ships.
When we're not being weird in there.
When you're not being weird in there. He actually sees you coming down and goes, Scamp.
Hello.
Are you done?
No, it'll be a little while yet. Can I borrow a chicken, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Goes over to one of the cages and carefully ushers a chicken into a little travel cage and passes it over to you.
Just like hypothetically, if a chicken lost its sense of self, would that interfere with what you need the chickens for? Hypothetically, not, yeah.
Yes.
Would you be able to tell if it had?
There's a pause. I do not think so,
Oh.
but the gods would know.
But if you didn't know and you used the chicken and then the gods got angry, would they get angry or just be disappointed? Oh, that's worse.
I will leave you to deal with this complex theological question.
You might not want to use this chicken. And I'm going to take the chicken and leave.
Take.
While Scamp is in the corridor with our Jin, I actually want to say something to Corzin when they're
Yeah.
not there.
Yep.
Fuck, was I too mean?
No. I'm really sorry. There is just too much at risk and potential fuck up.
I know,
Like-
I just don't want to fucking call them mass murderer or something.
No, and it's that's
Technically,
look.
aren't we all?
There's a reason why I suggested myself, and it was because the two of you are the only other people I would trust to go through this.
Yeah, I wasn't exactly agreeing with you. It's my responsibility thing. I think this is an equal responsibility, but I also think that means we have to go for the least damage.
Which, in this situation, would be me.
You emotionally is awful, but powers-wise, I'm less scared.
Well, if
And
it's
reckless-wise.
if I'm gone
You
from
be sensible more.
if I'm gone from my body, it isn't actually me, is it?
No, not technically.
You're familiar with what I can do. You know which ways I could be subdued if that was what needed to happen.
Right. Well, let's hope it works with the chicken first. But
We're looking out for each other. That's all this is.
yeah. Can't we keep an eye on them, yeah?
Of course.
I don't want them to go all self-hatey.
They still have, and I mean this in the best possible way, lots to learn.
Again, don't we all?
Well, yeah, but
I know I'm not much better, but
we're on different but parallel paths, if you see what I mean.
yeah. Anyway, I'll be back in a minute. We should probably stop talking.
I have a
I was
chicken!
going to say, from...
Is Fingersnap just
before-
watching this?
Fingersnap has been watching it passively. Before Scamp does come back, she does actually speak and say, I have raised a number of wards. You do not do badly.
What do you mean by that?
Actually, that's
You
a
are
point.
firm when you need to be to keep them on the right path as you see it.
You.
Can they
Oh,
hear what we're
stop.
saying?
What, Fingersnap?
Yes.
Yes. She's just stood there with a creepy face looking at us.
Well, I don't suppose there's anything we can really do about that.
No, also she's not really real, so...
This is
I'm-
correct.
Like, she's not alive anymore.
And that's
Sorry.
of great comfort to me, but still.
I'm not offended by this. I am dead.
Well, if I called you a stupid bitch, would you be offended by that?
Do you want your continued tuition?
Yes.
A good thing that was a hypothetical then.
Yeah, I suppose it was.
I found the chicken!
Congrats!
Oh, very good. Alright.
Well done.
See? I told you
Shall we
it
make-
would be no bother.
A Celestia chicken, then.
Yep. But we can't give it back or the gods will be disappointed?
Whatever.
I don't
What?
know. I don't know. If we break this chicken, we shouldn't give it back.
If we break this chicken, we should get him a new chicken.
We should get him.
Yeah.
That's just
you-
standard
you
if we
break it,
break
you buy
people's
it.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair. It's not his last one or anything, is it?
No, there's a few. There's
There's
just,
like
Good.
50, there's like a dozen more under there.
but if we
Fuck,
steal
fuck
this chicken's soul, it's no good for the gods.
Right, great. Okay, how do I put myself in this chicken, then? Please.
Assuming it works the way it does with people. Hold up the eye.
That's it. Her manacled hand.
Now you can see within it your reflection.
Yes.
Focus on that. Begin to pour yourself into it as you would when you begin to see. Feel your nature flow into that copy.
It is very weird.
It's a weird sensation. Not much happens at first, but you kind of focus. You try.
Staring at myself in a ball first, yeah.
Roll a charisma check.
Yeah, come on. Check. So that's 23.
You stare for like a minute. So the reflection stares back. You try furrowing your brows. Not much happens. You start to just feel a bit stupid and like you stick your tongue out at one point. The reflection sticks her tongue back out and waggles her eyebrows at you.
Oh, hello. There we go.
Sort of it starts to mimic your words, but there's a slight delay, and it's like the reflection is slightly out of sync, and you realise that you can feel some sort of connection with it. Like there's some, it's
I like rock to side and see if it's...
outside. It follows you, and then when you stop rocking, it keeps swaying a little bit longer until you sort of... and then stops. Well done. That is the first step.
Alright, so this is sort of me, right?
A shallow echo, yes. Now, look at the chicken.
Celestia laughs a little bit, but I'm sorry. It's a little bit funny. Please continue. Hello.
And
I'm gonna name the chicken Steve. Feels right.
push that connection between you and the shallow echo into the chicken.
Whose name is...
Into Steve
Thank
the
you.
chicken.
Yes.
It's usually not good to name animals that are gonna die.
Making villains say stupid things is always so good.
It's the best thing.
Celestia just giggles for a second and you don't know why. It's officially named Steve, she said it. Anyway. Ooh, concentrate.
The echo, like the reflection of you, sort of raises a hand to her mouth and giggles.
See, I'm funny, right?
She winks back.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, another charisma check, please. This time to try and push the connection out.
Oh, that's not as good. That's an 11. Can I bend fate?
You
Because
can.
I can see you. I'm going to add a whole 1 to that. 12.
Okay.
Focus. It's you spend almost the reflection doesn't really seem to move. It takes you about 20 minutes of trying different things before you feel like it's. Fingersnapper said pushing, but it's almost like if you realise actually what you almost need to do is you can faintly feel a sort of connection with the chicken. And what you need to do isn't so much push on the you, but pull on the connection to the chicken, like threading you through Steve, like a needle, like a thread in a needle through a hole.
That's not pushing at all.
You sort of pull at it, and and the reflection seems to, which by this point has just started like folding its arms and like doing the chicken dance, like trying to help. seems to vanish into the eye and then away somehow. You're not seeing any reflection there. But you feel something connect. That same connection goes through the eye and into the chicken. And you see, and the chicken's like...
Something's happening.
Oh, chicken's gone weird.
Just still for a moment.
Hello. Do something
Blinks.
cool if you'll meet.
It spreads its wings in a sort of vaguely
Like a similar pose
celestial-like
to what
fashion.
I do, but it's a fucking chicken.
It's a chicken. It's doing its best. And you hear finger snap. And finger snaps is close to you. That connection holds as long as you can maintain it.
Right. I'm going to see how long that is.
You stay connected. You feel that thread pulling through. Give me a... this one's wisdom rather than charisma.
Okay.
Check, please.
Whoa! Nope. That is... Where's my wisdom? 10.
Well, we
Okay.
I'll add some more
You
things.
hold...
but why not?
Yeah, sure.
A whole 2.
Oh!
You hold this
Good
for
one's
a
gone.
minute. Fine. It's like focusing on a spell. How long? Do you want to keep going longer?
Oh yeah, I go for as long as possible. I want to know how long it can last. And being Celestia, I will push slightly after it feels okay to, because that, I mean,
It starts. To
I will
get-
drop it when I have to.
It starts to get tricky as you're entering into the 9th minute.
Chicken's doing these slides.
The chicken doesn't like the chicken continues holding its pose or makes another one. You realise that I'll say in this 10 minutes you just speak out loud to the chicken at first and fingers like what do you want the chicken to do? Because it just keeps trying to like pose like you at first.
Could
Well, I've
you,
never seen a chicken do that.
Can you sing?
Well, the answer is very definitely no. No, the chicken cannot sing.
I think that chicken lacks pitch.
Fucking funny though. Okay, stop singing. I've had enough.
It is the body is limited by what it can do. And this is a shallow copy. But you do not have to speak to command it. You still maintain the connection.
Try and get it to spin in a circle.
It flops and does indeed do a little waddle in a circle.
Okay, you definitely did that, right?
Yep. I get it to sit on Scamp.
It's in the cage, but if you want to open the cage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it goes over to
It's a
cage.
chicken.
Yeah,
What's it gonna do?
it waddles over to Scamp and just sits and like on Scamp's hoof.
Hello, chicken.
It gives you a little light peck.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. A light one. It's interesting. You feel like the chicken is mostly autonomous.
But I can influence
You
it
can
a bit.
influence it, but like it's like you can give it you can sort of give it a general instructions, but it accomplishes it in the best way it can manage, which seems to be a weird synthesis of Celestia and a chicken. Like it's definitely still a chicken. It's just a
So
chicken
it
if you
wouldn't
coloured it with
hurt
like
Scamp,
a
that makes
hue of Celestia.
Yeah. I didn't want it to hurt Scamp. I more wanted the equivalent of it licking them a little bit.
Oh no! But that's the
Doing
thing. You
something
don't
weird.
tell it to peck it. It just does that because that's sort of what you would do if you were a chicken.
Ah, cool.
It does it without you commanding it.
Oh, this is odd.
So is it like, can you see through the chicken?
No.
Yes.
Can I?
If
How?
when you made the
you feel the connection between you and it.
Mm-hmm.
That links you to the copy, but you can swap.
So I could be a chicken. How would I get back?
Once you have swapped once, you should be able to swap the same way.
Right. I'm not going to think about it too hard. I'm just going to try.
Okay, this one is a charisma check for the first time you do this. Let's see
Alright,
you
what
can
are you
do
trying?
within that 10
I'm
minutes.
going to try and swap with the chicken. Briefly. And come back.
Alright.
Ugh.
Alright.
I mean, that's 22.
22. Okay. It does take you a few minutes. So I'm going to say 8 minutes into your continued concentration.
So I'm starting to get a bit wavery by this point.
You realise, it's like when you pulled the thread through, you need to pull it further but pull yourself out of yourself and then it simultaneously back into you is the closest approximation you get. And it just seems to flow. There's a brief moment of discontinuity as it feels like your soul is plucked out of your chest and then rammed into it. And you open your mouth, you open your beak, you're sat by Scamp. Scamp is massive. Corzin is pretty, pretty tall. And
Still small.
you can see a towering Celestia above you. He blinks. Darling.
So that-
Rainbows!
Oh, wow.
So is this... Huh.
Just smiles and strikes a pose. And
That
then
was
just drops
insulting.
it. Kind of fumbles around, picks your guitar and starts strumming at it.
Does this version sing?
You can still see finger snap through this lens.
I would
through
like to
chicken
try and
lens.
swap back. I do not like being a chicken.
Give me another charisma check. This is your first try to swap back.
Is that just 12?
I don't
You
think
try.
I don't think I know enough to help you.
You have total and precise control over this chicken body within the physical limits of being a chicken.
I'm going to start running into
But
walls
you-
if I can't swap back.
You're trying to do the same thing. It's not quite working.
Uh-oh,
Don't worry.
chicken's
Alright.
unhappy. Chicken looks unhappy.
Panicking chicken.
What's
Alright.
it? What? Just tell me another celestial thing.
Oh no. I hate it. She has a sip of whiskey. from
Yeah,
the
you just
bag.
see Celestia pull
Oh,
a
no.
bottle out and have a
Oh.
sip. Uncork it, take a
Oh
swig.
no. We've introduced this chicken to whiskey.
We'll worry about
Quite
that.
cheerful.
Plays his xylophone a bit.
Strikes a pose, plays the xylophone. Yeah.
I mean, there's no magic at least. What's the rainbow doing?
Yeah, actually, that is the point. What is
The Rainbow Spirit is looking very confused. It's sort of floating around Celestia, but also peering at this chicken very confusedly.
Alright. Is this in any way similar to how, and I would be thinking back specifically now to when Celestia wasn't here. What was the Rainbow Spirit doing then?
The Rainbow Spirit then was sleepily perched around her shoulders and not reacting much.
Okay.
And
So it's
you
a lot more
remember-
animated than it was.
Yeah, but you remember when Celestia came back, a whole bunch of spirits fled the Rainbow Spirit.
Right.
Okay. And it
Yeah,
had been
in a parasite-like
suppressed
fashion.
when
Yeah.
that
Okay.
happened. This time the Rainbow Spirit's what?
I will speak directly to it, actually. Is this kind of weird for you?
Yeah. Yeah. it's like she's here and she's there.
Oh, so she's in two places at once. Right. Oh.
No. And yes. It's really weird.
Helpful. Alright. So...
Chicken's flying around.
Yeah, the chicken's
Okay,
flapping and getting more and more
hold the
agitated.
chicken.
All right, it's all right.
I've got the chicken.
All right.
What do we do with the chicken?
Celestia, and I will address the chicken. Seems like you just gotta try again.
Look. What did you
This would be
say?
the best time for someone to walk in.
Seems like you've just got to try again. Whatever you, if you're trying to get back into your body, it hasn't quite worked yet.
Are you trying to get back and you're struggling? Is that if that's the case, pet
not.
Corzin.
Pet Corzin.
Right.
Only a
Okay.
little bit,
We
though.
understand that.
Yeah, if you try to speak, it just comes out squawking because it's chicken vocal cords.
Yeah. Fine.
I try and go back again.
I understand that. Right. It would have been.
Yeah, you are continuously trying to go back, and you're getting, like, as you're getting into 9 minutes, it's, like, really, really straining. Fingersnap turns to you, the chicken you, and says, "You can allow the connection to break once 10 minutes are up, or you can renew it, but it will use up some of the eye's magic."
I can't reply because I'm a fucking chicken, so I'll wait.
Do you attempt to reply or say anything?
No, I don't. I wait
No, you
until
just
I'm not
wait.
a chicken.
Okay.
I am going to
Fingersnap speak
continually try and
chicken.
get back, though.
Okay. Within 10 minutes, you are not able to make the switch back. Yeah, because low roll. At the point of 10 minutes, you feel an instinctive choice, though. You could... The connection through the eye is what's wavering. You feel like you could pulse that, give you another 10 minutes of connection, but it will use up. It will use up a use of the eye for the
charge.
dead.
Yeah, that
charge.
makes sense.
In fact, you realise you've used up a charge.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm not
Doing this the
going
first
to
time.
stay. I think I had enough of being
Okay,
a chicken.
you let
now.
the connection break, and as the snap happens, you feel a discontinuity and blink, and you're back in your body, and you get the sense of the echo. The echo connection snaps, and the chicken, which has been glaring balefully up at you, you see it still glare from a. Starts running around in a
that's
confused
not me.
panic.
I've never had that much energy.
Now, how do we know if this chicken still has a sense of self?
I
don't know if it did just
I'm
then.
not in there anymore.
No, but what is? Is it the chicken? Has it come back okay?
Is it still the chicken?
I have no idea.
I could try and read the chicken's thoughts. I didn't read them
I
before.
don't know that there's
Well-
going to be many thoughts in
I mean,
there.
there aren't words, are there? So,
Well, you were yourself when you came back.
yes. That doesn't mean I haven't melted this chicken's brain, though.
Anyone got any food for the chicken? Jeffrey, thank you. We got your food,
Yeah,
of
for
course.
some little monkey snacks.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Let's not worry about Jeffrey's level of intelligence.
The
Let's
chicken,
just carry
the chicken
on.
sort of seems to calm down when it sees food.
There we go. There. Okay, well,
Just starts pecking up.
chicken seems chickeny.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
That's
it's chickeny.
encouraging. I'm not even going to bother asking you to describe what that was like, but I gather rather disconcerting.
Upsetting, deeply. Not a fan of body swapping.
Right. Well,
This will require practice, but you have grasped the fundamentals.
So what you're saying to me is I'm going to need a practice chicken or similar.
If you so wish. Whatever animals or people you encounter that you consider fair game. Aha, aha, ha, ha.
Oh my god, that was mortifying. She made a joke.
what happened?
Oh, no.
Did they make a pun?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I've been saying she. Is it she?
Yes.
Cracking.
I hate to say it, but there are still questions that, unfortunately, this chicken cannot answer for us. Like,
Yeah.
where did the chicken go? What was the experience like for the chicken?
Yeah.
We're asking the big questions today.
How did the chicken's day go up to this point?
Would a chicken prefer to fight an orangutan?
or a person every day.
This is less of a dilemma for a chicken from the chicken standpoint.
I mean, the chicken's idea would be either I don't comprehend this as a question because I'm a chicken, or I think less fight would be the one.
I feel like for a chicken, it's like, would I rather face a dog once a year or a scorpion every day?
Anyway.
I feel like I've seen a
what you
chicken
were
eat a
saying.
mouse before, so chickens can be pretty vicious.
That's quite scary.
Yeah.
Also, what you described is true. Did this chicken think it was underwater for 10 minutes? That'd freak a chicken out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a naturally tenable position for a chicken.
I'm sorry, did the kraken at the bottom of the scary sea thing just see a chicken?
I really hope
Chicken
so.
float past with no explanation.
I really want to go and get a bunch of chickens, breathe on water, and just cast water breathing, and just let them have a swim.
He's so confused.
A colossal eye opens and then is confused.
There's just a chicken there.
I mean, if that's what happens, we need to send all sorts of nonsense down there.
God, so many weird things.
Let's kill
You
the
are
kraken.
right, though. We don't actually know, do we?
No, we know that you came back safely. Great, good, yes, that
Yes,
was good.
hello.
And that you were struggling, but you could get out.
Yeah, I think it's like I didn't manage to get out before the spell ended, but
Oh, there's a time limit.
yeah, 10 minutes.
Okay.
I think. What was that? Was that like 10 minutes?
Oh,
Or just
yeah,
10 minutes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's...
But if it breaks, I just come back. I
Okay,
just
well, that's
couldn't
good.
manage to get out before the 10 minutes, but I think that is possible.
What would have happened if the chicken died?
What while I was in it?
Yeah.
What help? Finger snap? What would have happened?
In my own experience, when killing someone I was possessing, I would snap back.
What, you'd snap back if they died?
Yes.
Is she lying?
Insight check.
15.
As far as you can tell, yep, when Fingersnap just brutally murdered someone she was possessing with an echo, she would indeed snap back.
She says she'd snap back.
Okay.
So
And what
we're
would
sort of
happen...
fail-safe.
Yes, that's good. But what would happen if your very competent body with the double in it died while you were a chicken?
Oh, the finger snap.
I never died while using it. I don't know.
She don't know.
Okay.
But I
Right.
suspect you would just die.
She thinks I'd just die.
You wouldn't just stay in the chicken.
You are holding the chicken. Steve's
Steve, yes. I'm holding Steve.
mind into your shape. If you are not there to hold it in shape,
This goes back
it
to Steve's
springs
shape.
back.
Okay.
Okay, well that we
Right.
need to bear in mind. Because,
It's like you need a point of origin. It makes sense. So it's
but the version of you that was left behind, well, very accurate in its portrayal, was lacking a little bit of...
Give it like the flattest look.
They were lacking a little bit of the common sense, shall we say.
A little bit, yeah.
if someone had been who was not familiar with you at all had some of the activities you partake in described to them, that might have been convincing, but not otherwise.
I mean, to you two, it's probably just a bit creepy, really.
It's like seeing somebody else's bad recollection of you.
With time and experience, you can craft your echo to be more accurate. But it is a simulacrum, not the real thing. It was acceptable for a first attempt.
Thank you.
Do you remember anything of what it did?
What, like
Your
my
actual
memories?
body? Yeah, the body that was here and was doing stuff.
My strain, do I remember anything?
You really strain. You just remember being a chicken. Your arm, you can still, your arms are a bit tired from aggressively playing xylophone for a little bit.
But that's in my muscles.
But that's in your muscles. And you don't remember them doing that except from the outside.
Nope.
So if you did it for longer and went further away, you wouldn't know what it'd been up to when you came back.
Nope.
Hate that.
Mm-hmm.
You still maintain control without specific instructions.
Granted, there's an element of control.
Your echo will just be in a passive manner.
I'll be passive if I'm not telling us too much, apparently.
Would it defend itself?
I don't know. Would it defend itself?
Would you?
Automatically?
I rarely put myself in such a situation. I do not know.
She doesn't know again.
Well, I think until we're a little bit more certain about a few things with regards to this, if we're going to try anything like this again, it has to be the same rules as if we were looking at the past or future.
I have a question, actually. Distance. Is there a distance limit? How does that work?
You must be able to perceive the person you are replacing with the echo.
Oh, so I have to be able to see them. But they could be far away and I could see them.
This is a good point. One moment.
Good.
I'm just going to check a thing. At first, you will need to be close. One of the later powers at a deeper level is to project that through the eye at a distance. But first you must be far more proficient at creating an echo. In the short range, 60 feet. In the short term, 60 feet.
60 feet.
Okay.
9 echoes. I'm not going to know what that means later. But
Yeah.
never mind.
Okay. Still so much we need to know, isn't there?
Alright, if this is an ability that is channeled through the eye, then do we have to discharge the eye in the same way?
I mean, it uses up a charge, I think.
But does it?
Right.
Oh, as in,
Yeah.
are there consequences? That's a really good question.
Yeah, does someone else come through as a result of you doing this?
Yeah, is there a cost in the same way there is to seeing the past and future?
You are not as directly connected to the source, no.
Oh, okay, so because it's not in the eye.
You do not bear that same debt.
Because you don't go as far. So no, not by the sounds of things.
Okay.
Alright, that's reassuring to know. But,
We do need to do this, don't we, with a person?
We do, I think. We need to know.
Well, we've established, at least, I'm gonna request that we keep this chicken under observation for at least the next 24 hours and see if
This
there's any
chicken will
aberrant
not
behaviour.
leave my side for 24 hours.
Please note that you are bringing the chicken with you wherever you go next.
Chicken
Um,
for 24
The chicken's
hours.
name is Steve. It's very important.
Chicken Steve.
Yeah.
For 24 hours. That'll be a useful note. I'm sure I'll remember what that means.
Right, so it's not perhaps a perfect test, but I think it's the only one practically we can do right now, unless we had some other animal that was easier to communicate with.
My eyes wander to Jeffrey before I can stop them, and then they wander away again.
I follow them.
You wanna...
I mean, only if he's up for it.
It's an idea, but we've still got a bit of a language problem.
Friend,
Yes.
would Jeffrey... Does Jeffrey understand what this is? would he?
Can you ask him? Also, friend, would you be able to tell if it was actually Jeffrey or not?
I would say I could. I think Jeffrey
could say no, that's alright.
How are you? Points at the chicken. He's like, Jeffrey does not feel comfortable with this.
Is friend talking to all of us, or?
Friend is talking openly, so you can all hear him in your mind.
That seems pretty fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Thank you for being honest, Jeffrey.
You're not sure.
Yeah.
You're like, friend adds, he also thinks that the chicken has had too many of his snacks now.
Okay, well, I'll take the snacks back. No, Steve, no.
Oh, we'll have to get some chicken feed.
I have 3 pets right now. We all know you're going to get attached and keep the fucking chicken as well, which isn't a magical pet.
Gonna happen to this
it's
chicken.
just a chicken. It's not like a familiar or a Jeffrey. It's just
Or even
just
that
a
parrot.
chicken.
Oh, my parrot.
It's just a chicken that got
Yeah.
body swapped once.
Yeah.
Or is it? No.
Or is it?
Chicken's the Kraken.
Wow.
Just a copy of the Kraken, like riding around with his chicken
I've
now.
just got this beautiful scene in my head where, like, it's the end of the campaign. We're all really emotional. The mass battle's happening. We go through the Ever Squall. Like, we've got a fleet of ships, and at the centre there's just a chicken, just standing there. All it wanted was some bird seed the whole time.
Oh no.
We feed it. We're friends with it. And we name it Kraken, and then it's the end of the campaign. And the retirement song where the longest Johns plays.
Aww.
And we all live happily ever after with our new chicken friend.
Oh.
Okay.
So what are we...
Do we need to do this on a person?
I
or
think
not?
we need
What
to
do
do
we
it. I think we do need to do it on a person.
Yes.
Corzin, are you still down? Should we just do this now?
Quick question though. Like, you said you were in a place with water and, like, when you were, not you,
Yeah.
was the Kraken there?
Only if you go really, really far down, the Kraken's there. Like, really far down.
We know it's got a problem with Corzin. Should we be
Yeah.
putting Corzin anywhere near it?
Hang on. Corzin is going to be thinking deeply about this for a moment. And you see him go slightly distant as a realization dawns on him that possibly he hasn't considered before. And then he just says quietly, "It probably wouldn't notice."
What do you mean? Just...
To the Kraken, if I'm right, and this is based on all the information I've been able to get about it, it's like it would be like paying specific attention to an ant.
I don't think you're an ant to the Kraken. I think you're wrong. The Kraken can see the future. It knows. Or at least knows that we're going to make an attempt at some point.
Mm.
I don't think you're like an ant to the Kraken. I think to the Kraken you're probably more important than it wants you to be. Or you're laughably unimportant because our attempt goes terribly, either way.
If it can see the future and knows that I'm going to make an attempt at it, would it not have followed me more actively in the present?
Corzin,
Now,
the Reavers want to cut your head off. Really soon. And we know they're connected. What other motivation do they have for coming after you other than...
I just look at him.
Me
They want to
specific-
cut your head off. Yes, you specifically. You're the one we lose in that fight if it goes down like we saw.
Yeah, we were fine.
I mean, you just
not
said
fine.
But,
We both lived, though. Why
yeah,
wouldn't they kill all of us? Unless it didn't matter.
you're important. Like, to the future.
Right.
Why do you think
It's
Bloodbeard
never
Brandy
it
had a
has never
message to
shown
you?
any interest in a specific person before.
We don't
It
know
has.
that. We don't know that it's not targeting places based on where people live or grew up because it thinks they might be a problem in the future.
I mean, the Reavers were.
Yeah.
In that person from the Institute I had with the nightmare. That's what it was about. Reavers coming and killing people for what they would do.
Then why did I survive Barnacle Point?
Luck, darling.
I don't know if you've noticed, but you're pretty lucky.
No, I'm serious. Okay, let's imagine. I want to kill a specific person, but the only thing I can do is make a tornado. With something that big, there's a chance it'll miss. Because it's a huge thing and it's one person, and sometimes one person gets out inexplicably. It's not a very controllable power, is it? You know? Does that make sense? Like,
You've been
Yes, I understand what you're
underestimating
getting at, but
yourself. Don't think you're unimportant.
I'm not saying I'm unimportant, but I'm saying that it doesn't think like us.
No,
Maybe
it
it
sees
does.
what you become. It takes you out when you're vulnerable, before you're a danger. That's what it tries to do.
you know I don't like the idea of either of you, so what do we do?
I don't know. I don't think we should be dangling you in front of it, though, Corzin.
I don't think you're any better as a potential.
I mean, your power can combine with the Kraken's power horribly.
Yeah.
But, like, imagine it can act through you. That's a lot of power, right?
Yeah.
Assuming it wasn't the Kraken that swapped with you, Celestia, did you have any sense that it was aware of you when you were wherever you were?
It looked at me on the way past. When we swapped. What, the Kraken itself, you mean? I mean, the Kraken's only
Yes.
been aware of me a couple of times. Definitely. One of them was just before I swapped. For the week, that time.
Oh.
The second one was... Actually, I don't know if it saw me that time. I saw it.
Yeah.
Was that time I went really far back into the past to get
Yeah.
all those burns? I got really near to it, but I don't know if it actually saw me or not. I didn't notice it if it did, which I think I would have done. Pretty fucking
Yeah.
big eye. Usually I don't feel like it's looking at me, but... Don't know.
There's no one else we can ask, though, is there?
No.
Also, the amount of time, I think, then, is what we've got to think about. If you can do it, then as soon as you're satisfied you can, come back. You can choose to do that, right?
I mean, I couldn't with the chicken, darling.
But you could try. You didn't manage it, but it doesn't mean you can't.
Oh, I can try. Yeah, I can't promise I'll succeed because I didn't the first time, is all I'm saying.
Alright.
Obviously, I'll try. I tried really hard with chicken, but...
Well, maybe we should practice a few more times with the chicken. Once you're fairly confident with that, then we can try it.
I don't know if we've got time. I feel like this is important to know.
You also have a maximum of 2 more attempts to do.
Yeah, I've used up a charge already. We're going soon, aren't we? It feels like we're going soon. To wherever we're going with you.
Yeah.
So we might as well do this if we're going to.
Do we need to talk to, like, Victoria and Vasilisa about that, by the way?
We should talk to Victory.
That's entirely up to you, Scamp.
Oh, well, I'll talk to Victory. I don't want to talk to her.
She might insist on coming. It's an eventuality I've just
I
thought
don't know. I don't know how we're travelling. But there might be a way we could just leave her behind. That would be mean, wouldn't it? I shouldn't do that. I don't know.
Thus far, all Victory has said to you, like, as a plan is, come help me steal a mansion.
Yeah, that's true. We're gonna help steal a mansion.
So,
but
like...
with the...
Yeah, but we are planning on figuring out where we're supposed to be going.
Yeah,
for
that's
Scamp,
true.
aren't we?
Yeah,
Like, we don't know what steal
We
a
think
mansion
Victory
means,
should
so
come with.
Yeah, so I'm making plans on the I don't understand what that means kind of
that's
rules,
fair
you
enough.
know? And thinking we probably have to go find... I'm imagining, like... Celestia is imagining, like, a search quest where we find this place, and Victory definitely wants to come, and there's absolutely no way Vasilisa won't be like, I'm coming too.
Yeah.
Oh, she'd have to leave the boat.
Or a kid, though. Vasilisa wouldn't be a fantastic person to make an enemy of.
I think
Unless you
that-
hate her enough, and in which case, fuck it.
I don't know. Do I hate her? I don't know. I don't think I do. I'm not good at hating.
I imagine your feelings about it are very complicated.
Yeah, there's not many people I hate.
It doesn't change the fact that it has to be your decision, Scamp. I don't think
Yeah,
it needs to
but
be
that's-
that.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a longer term thing though. That's
Yeah.
moderately longer.
Like tomorrow, maybe.
But yeah, it feels like that's imminent, and we're not going to be wanting to experiment on this when there's other folks around.
Definitely not.
So it's going to be now, or it's going to be not for a while.
Okay, which one of you am I doing it on?
I don't know.
Me.
Alright, let's do it.
Okay.
And Corzin takes his hat off, rolls up his sleeves, disarms himself. This takes a while.
Any encouraging words for Corzin before we do this?
Any inspiring words
You're
from
so
him?
good at stuff. Look at you doing stuff and being good. Weirdly, this is legitimately inspiring.
Okay,
you can-
are
you
we
can
still a
feel
D10 or is it a D12
D10,
now?
yeah. Oh,
A
it's,
D10.
it might be D12.
Yeah, you can feel that awkward as Celestia's voice is, like her intent, like she
I actually
genuinely
do
means
think
you
you're
well,
good at stuff.
and she genuinely thinks,
And you can
yeah.
do all the things.
Okay. It's like,
There's also like
you've always got a knack.
yeah, there's-
D12.
Oh, D12 now.
Oh, D12, okay.
Yeah, there's also like a worry behind the words that makes you realise how much she loves you. That's also inspiring. There we go. I made it cute.
I give her a hug before we go any further.
You
Thank
sure?
I am sure. Let's do this.
So we mantle killing both of you. Is that?
Maybe that might be a good idea.
It's gonna look so weird if anyone walks in, but yeah.
A minute ago you were talking to a chicken like it was me, so yeah,
Right.
there's levels.
We would have another set of manacles on
Oh,
board.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you manacle at Corzin, and
It's a ship where we take prisoners
Yeah.
sometimes. Well,
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah,
hard.
there's a
but-
brig. That would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
at this point, the door opens.
No.
Auden comes. I was just sees two of you manacled up. You with the chicken. Jeffrey aggressively guarding his nuts. Marjorie, just like between you. Auden just slowly closes the door and walks
We're not
away.
done yet.
How the fuck
Look.
are we going to explain that? Never mind. Anyway,
It's a magic thing.
it is
Look.
actually.
You just faintly hear, paid enough not to ask.
Thank you. Have a lovely day. We should give the man an extra rum ration or something. I mean, fucking hell.
Yes,
I will make him a
I will
bowl
see
of
to
rum.
it. Right. Plus the fact, I hope I'm not wildly off the mark here, but I do actually think the crew are more or less happy at the moment. So if there is some weird stuff, they're not about to start poking around where they're not supposed to.
Yeah, probably. Right, should
It's
we
why
do
I've
this?
it's why I've been very, very fastidious about keeping them that way.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I'm gonna suck myself out of this if we don't do it
Let's do
immediately.
the thing.
Do it.
Roll another charisma check, please.
Oh, it's really good. 24.
Okay, the process is much smoother. It's still not. You're still not at the stage where you can do this in a single action yet. But it takes you less than a minute to recreate the echo of yourself, the reflection, and this time, knowing the trick of sort of push-pulling it, you do feel it start to connect to Corzin. Corzin, you feel a force on the edge of your psyche, like a strange otherness pressing into you. You can voluntarily fail this, but if you don't, I would like you to make a wisdom save, please.
Okay, if he feels something's going, that's you, right? That's definitely you doing that.
Yeah,
isn't
that's
it?
me. Yep.
Okay, then
Pulling
and
you.
only then he will voluntarily fail it.
Okay.
Because he will be trying to help Celestia actively with this, but it's a case of he absolutely has not done this before. He wants to know that's not anything else.
Which is for the best, because it would have been against Celestia's save DC, which is pretty high.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Corzin. Sorry, Celestia, you feel a moment of resistance, then give way as you feel the echo transfer into Corzin. You have that
Oh, I
link
should probably
between
mention the
them.
ice.
And then, like, you feel that connection is there, and Corzin says, as you mentioned, the eyes blinks. Darling.
Oh, God. I'm going to try and swap.
And yeah, Corzin, you start mentioning a warning about the eyes, and then later, this will feel very strange to remember.
Mm-hmm.
You will remember almost ceasing to be Corzin Horhace. Almost. You will remember remembering that you're Celestia Stardust. You won't remember Celestia's long-term memories. You'll just remember that you were Celestia Stardust. And you say darling a lot. And you can play a lot of instruments.
You drink whiskey.
And you drink whiskey.
Swear.
Experiencing
Fuck.
experiencing death of personality, but coming back. That's
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, you get full death of personality. For as long as this remains, you just are Celestia. And the Celestia, but Corzin just starts acting like a really passive copy of Celestia. So this time it takes a little bit more focus. You're not down enough to be able to do this in an action yet, but after about a minute of focus, you feel yourself, that switch happens, and you are again looking up now. This is exceptionally weird though. So first of all, you can see Celestia up above, blink, fuck, whiskey, blink, confused and passive. But you can also see everything. You can see in every direction. You can see the ground under your feet. You can see out of your knees. You can
see through Corzin's balls. That happened.
Technically, you're not able to see through the balls because you're wearing clothes. You're able to see through.
While he's clothes.
You're able to see through the gusset of his trousers, though.
Gusset.
Yeah.
Gusset.
Everywhere there is a tattooed or painted eye, you can see out. You have bewilderingly more than 360 degree visions, 360 degrees in 3 dimensions. And it's strangely okay. It's momentarily disorienting, but you're not going as blind from managing all of this as you would expect. You can definitely somehow feel that the magical belt that makes this possible is taking the strain off your brain, off the brain
this
you're
body
thinking
is used
through.
to it.
Yeah.
This is deeply confusing.
And you hear Corzin say,
Oh, this is deeply confusing.
Oh.
Being Celestia's RP, but like Corzin.
Oh, actually, no, yeah, you're
Which is
absolutely right.
interesting.
Oh, this is deeply confusing.
It comes out a little bit like
Sabnet?
Sander. Like Sander even.
Yeah.
Oh, this has gone very wrong. Celestia, is that you?
Yes. Hello.
Yes, hello?
Darling.
And that's
Darling.
that's not Corzin.
Definitely not.
Yeah, and we'll just assume that the underreading is happening.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
gonna swap
cool.
back now because I hate this. Oh, chest hair's fun. Anyway, let's go.
Bye.
Make another charisma check, please, to get back.
Schools in for 10 minutes. Natural 20.
Yes!
This time, just the whether it's being motivated by the real
just
desire to
fear.
not be in your friend
Just fear.
any longer, you actually managed to get it right, just like almost instantaneously. You realize you actually need to cycle the same. You were doing it wrong. You were trying to reverse the change, like by pulling in the opposite way. You actually need to pull again the same way, and it cycles you through
It's not like a little
like a
looping
change.
washing
Yeah, like a
line.
little washing line. And you're back
Corzin
in.
would have a bunch of different, like, sailoring
Yeah.
kind of metaphors for this.
Yeah.
So many.
And you blink back, and you're in your body again. And Corzin just does a little pose.
I'd like to get rid of this now.
You let the connection break, and you feel the connection break and snap back. Corzin, or rather, I should say, Celestia, you become Corzin again. You feel your own nature reassert. You remember the last minute or so of being fake Celestia, being real Celestia through your body. You don't remember being in the other body. You at no point do you remember possessing Celestia's body. You just remember your body acting like actual Celestia as opposed to like a kind of shitty fake Celestia.
Also, have you got, like, 2 sets of memories for the same amount of time?
No. This is just
No one
continuous with the
remembers
rest of
Celestia's
your
body.
memory. No one is remembering Celestia's what was happening in Celestia's body. But you like whether souls have swapped or not, your brain remembers being Corzin, being shitty fake Celestia,
Yeah.
being real Celestia, being in your body, being shitty fake Celestia again, and then being Corzin. And it's a continuous track of experience. There's a deeply bewildering discontinuity from becoming yourself again. But you don't recall being pulled into an
didn't
ocean
go
or anything
anywhere.
like. You didn't go anywhere so much as you stopped existing.
Assume he relays this because I have an immediate question.
I mean, Corzin, yeah. How do you react? Because this is what everyone sees. Like the moment, I'm compressing this all into a moment.
Yeah, sure. Corzin, as soon as he's back in his own bit, and he'll like be touching his hands together and like making sure he can like still sense everything around him.
You can with ludicrous stereoscopic vision.
You
that
have
was-
really big shoulders. That's just a lot more shoulder than I'm used to. That was very strange.
Well, I've not had any other shoulders to compare them to, so
You were a whale yesterday. I guess whales don't have shoulders.
not in the same way.
The day
No.
before?
I've had a decent amount of shoulders. Yours are big.
Oh, all right.
I could tell you, T-Rex bigger.
Okay, so just out of character, so I'm sure I'm understanding this correctly. From Corzin's point of view, it's like time has been lost.
No.
No, you were
No.
just Celestia.
It's like, yeah, you remember everything that happened. You just weren't you.
Oh, right.
And you
okay.
remember, and you, it feels unnatural now that you're no longer Celestia. but you remember, like, everything you thought going through a Celestia lens.
Oh,
Okay.
That was weird. On the plus side, I'm fairly certain I didn't go wherever you went when you weren't here.
Oh, you didn't go anywhere?
No, I remember being here in this room as you, but...
Were you in there or in here? I point at him. Were you in there or in here? I point at me.
I think I was in here, and he points at himself, but I remembered it through you.
That's weird.
That is weird.
But it was like I wasn't anywhere.
So you were just me for a couple of minutes?
Yeah.
I have a question. Say we did this to an enemy and I was thinking about the plan of what we were trying to execute. Is that not an issue if you're just me?
So you're thinking back on it. In the way that... It's pretty hard to remember your own thoughts unless you're deliberately thinking to yourself in a sort of like... Frankly, most of the time, unless you're like mentally going over with the internal monologue of, okay, I need to do this, then this, or doing
Declarative statements.
Yeah, declarative statements in your brain. You don't really remember what you were thinking in a moment that you're doing things. You remember the thought of, I need to do this, but you remember doing the thing and being the person who did the thing. You don't necessarily remember the thinking behind the thing because you don't need to. That's what it's like. You remember Celestia's sort of experiential sense of, oh wow, this Corzin's got a lot of eyes.
Yeah, okay, I think
but like, that's
It
about
doesn't
it.
go that deep, yeah.
he would just come and say, I don't know if this makes any sense, but it was like I remembered the experience you were having as me, and that was what was like the totality of everything.
So weird.
I don't think I remembered your thoughts specifically, unless all you were thinking was, oh god, shoulders, eyes,
I've got eyes on my balls,
everyone's
help
really
me.
tall.
I mean, that's basically it.
But there aren't like clear thoughts, so no information was passed. It was just the experience.
No. Yeah, it sounds
That's
like shallow
reassuring.
experience. I mean, it's supposed to be a shallow echo, so maybe it's not that deep.
Right.
And when you came back, you didn't have to like try. It just happened. There was no sort of effort on your part to be you again. Was there?
You feel like you get the feeling that you could have tried resisting the change to begin with, but once it was there, once you were Celestia, you didn't want to not be Celestia because you were Celestia. But maybe if something really disruptive had happened, the part of you that was you might have been able to try and become you again.
I don't know if this makes any sense to you, Celestia, but it was kind of like the two of us became a looped piece of rope, and our bodies were the ratchets at either end of that rope. So you pulled on one, it went around. You pulled again, it went around again. And it could keep going for as long as you want, only you want the rope to be in a certain position, otherwise nothing happens.
Yep. Yeah, that's about right, actually, weirdly.
But there wasn't any danger of you getting lost coming back. Like there was a fixed path.
I think it was a closed system.
Okay.
But it's a case of being able to exert enough control on the rope.
So you didn't go anywhere? It was just
No,
a matter of coming back within the space of what you had.
The weirdest thing is, it was like I Corzin, didn't exist for a certain time, but I was still aware of everything because you were.
Oh, right.
Gross.
Well, this is reassuring and horrible. Well,
I don't want to do it again.
No, we don't. I don't think we need to right now.
Well, I don't think that the did you get the sense of any other consciousness or entity intruding on that? Because I certainly didn't.
I mean, she's the only thing here right now. Quite a finger snap.
That's the point, actually.
Nothing else
During that, was I aware of finger snap?
You were not.
Okay. All right. Well, I wasn't aware of finger snap during whatever the heck that was.
Wait. No. When you became true Celestia, you suddenly could see finger snap.
Okay,
But when you were the shitty Echo version, you couldn't.
Definitely not. Yeah.
All right. Well, and I will point to where I remember finger snap being.
Finger snap hasn't actually
is she
moved
still
from that position. So
I think
don't
she's
have to
basically
wait.
just been in the same spot.
Yeah.
Is she still over there?
Yep, that's right.
Right. Now, I couldn't know that. I couldn't
I mean,
myself
I put my hand
know
through her
that.
head earlier, but yeah, no, you did see.
So the only way I know that now is because Celestia does.
So if you did it with someone who didn't have spirit sight, would they then see spirits?
Oh, finger snap. Do you have any idea?
I cannot see spirits.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, she can't see them, so she's not sure.
Okay.
We don't really have anyone else to
Interesting.
ask.
No, the only
Okay,
way
yeah,
to do
so-
it would be to try it, and we're not doing it.
I'm alright, yeah.
Yeah. And you didn't, like, when you had the echo, at no point has it tried to do magic or anything harmful.
It appears, as far as you can tell, that the quality of the echo you create is a pretty shallow echo of you.
From there, I could kind of estimate that it would have vaguely the same objective, but shallower.
But shallower.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, it wouldn't peck Scamp, because,
yeah.
I wouldn't hurt Scamp.
And when you swapped, when you were with, you were Corzin, did you feel like you had access to Corzin's abilities at all?
That's a good point.
You
correct
felt
me
like
if I'm
you had
wrong,
access
but-
to Corzin's body and Corzin's muscle memory.
I'm still me, just in a different physical one.
So the magic comes from Corzin working with the spirits, like Corzin's self, not the body and the spirits.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that the case for everyone who does magic? Like, if you did it with, who does things different? Oksana! That was a learnt thing.
I
some of
think
it
I
was
wouldn't magically know what she knew.
But the muscle memory would remember some of it. If you had the knowledge of those spells, you could work through it.
there's muscle memory, and then there's actually knowing what things do, though. Because I imagine Oksana would probably have muscle memory of
So if
whatever
Oksana
she was
swapped
doing
with
with
someone
those
else,
bars,
she
like
could.
moving them, but I wouldn't know what it meant. Does that make sense?
So if Oksana used the eye and swapped into someone else's body, she could use that body to cast if she had the right tools.
Yes, I
Potentially.
think so.
I suppose it's arcane versus
It's
spiritual-based
different
magic.
sources.
Yeah, I don't know if but I look at the Pride Spirit. Would you come if I was like, say I'd wanted to cast a spell as Corzin just then? Would you have been able to help?
I think I would. I think it would still be you. So yeah.
Okay.
If it was
Yes.
really you, I'd come to you.
Okay.
I will ask the ambivalent octopus, like, what was that like from your point of view?
Yeah, that was weird.
Use.
It's like
Corzin pinching the bridge of his nose slightly, saying, if
I don't know. It's like you stopped being you.
but would you still be able to do the same things if whoever it was told you to or wanted to?
I don't know. Be able to, maybe. Want to, maybe not.
Alright,
I don't think we can know the answers to these questions, if I'm honest. I think this is just spitballing.
But
it's a shame we don't actually have like a spell in common that both of us know how to do. Because that might answer some questions, but...
I don't want to do it again to test, I'm afraid.
No, that's not.
No, I think that's enough for now, but...
Does make me worry about my magic if you were... Because we don't know where mine comes from.
No, we don't.
We don't know if it's...
Like yours and Victory's, no idea.
Is it...
It comes from you, doesn't it?
I don't know that it does. Well, yes, but is it body or mind? Because I don't know that it's mind.
I don't know either.
Because my body's done magic when I've not been home.
The only information we've had is... I mean, all the evidence, obviously, by that time the tree spirit said you were one that burned from within. And we see you differently, like you look more solid than other people if you have spirit sight. And so it might be in your actual body.
There was that time that Friend and everyone were I wasn't.
But wasn't it Friend or whoever of your companions making that decision, though?
Yes, but I can't cast you magic through your body, I think, whereas Friend could cast Scamp magic through Scamp's body.
Yeah.
Right.
That's different.
And it wasn't Friend's magic. That's not
I
magic
think
that
I
comes
never
from Friend.
swap with your Victory. I think that's very important. Not that I would anyway, but people like you, I mean.
Yeah,
I
because if
think
you can't
anyone-
control that suddenly, if the magic's still there and you can't control it.
What if I go into you and it's awful because it's somebody else and your body freaks out, which would be pretty natural because it's being taken over by something, and you do your body does loads of random magic things that I can't control.
Yeah.
That would be really dangerous.
And Victory basically controls the weather, so
Yeah.
let's not do that.
If it is your body and your body gets defenses up because it's being invaded,
Yeah.
let's never do that. It's a good thought. I don't want to know what happens.
No, me neither.
Okay.
We done for now?
It was partially this reason why I did say it had to be me.
Yeah, no, just I can do too much damage. I don't have control. Not enough, anyway, to be safe.
Well, my point was if you have taken this long to get this in control, somebody just popping themselves into your body for 5 minutes. It's not like if it's a thing that you're constantly controlling and not realizing you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking rubbish if I just pop in for 5, isn't it?
Yeah, there's
That's really bad, potentially.
like there's not much that I do that isn't breaking stuff. Really.
You make things lately.
Friend makes
Yeah.
things, I just help.
But what about that fort you made?
That's Friend.
You still directed it, didn't you?
Yeah, but I don't know if you'd have access to Friend's stuff. The stuff that comes from me, it's mostly breaking things.
Well, my point being is that, you had to make that decision.
Yeah, but the trouble is I don't control it well, so we shouldn't do anything that's risky. What do we do now?
Lunch? Beer?
Yeah, I think I could do...
She's still...
Knock at the door.
Finger snap, I think we're done for today. Thank you.
You look away, you look back, no finger snap.
She's gone.
Oh, thank God.
No.
Yep.
Auden cracks open.
Yeah, the weird shit's finished now, darling. You can come in.
That's
we're
alright.
done.
There's the what's her face? The young tiefling girl from Basilisk.
Oh, Victory's here.
Yeah, just wanted to was asking if after lunch you wanted to help us steal a mansion. Apparently it's not far.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, today can't get any weirder, can it?
Oh, I'm sure I can make it weirder.
Alright. And with that you demanacle and head off to lunch.
Auden, take an extra set of rum rations for the week.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Will do. And at that point, I think we'll pick up next time. So thank you all very much for listening. Thank you all very much for playing, and farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s.
In dreams we find a place of calm, a fireside romance safe from harm. Yet waking knowledge leaves me cold, the power to steal a chicken's soul.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.